listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome to Surrey Park Reserve, the Eastland match of the round between Surrey Park and Templestowe. Division 2 blockbuster. It is 1v2 in the competition in Division 2, and we're set for a massive afternoon. Out here at Surrey Park, I'm Ryan Long, media manager with the EFNL. Not on screen at the moment, standing up, sitting next to our man Blake Tennant, who's been down here this morning calling the senior women's game. Blake, great to have you on board for the pre-game. First day back
it is.
On a broadcast day.
Yep.
EFNL, it's taken you 6 weeks to get here, but good to have your company.
Yeah, probably my little jet lag sticking in. Good to be back. Really excited for this and to join with a few familiar faces that I haven't seen in a long time. So it's good to see. So, yeah, cracking game of footy and, two sides, top of the ladder clash. You can't get any better than this.
Matt Spider-Lee down on the other end of the table. Great to have you on a Saturday afternoon, and I think you were listening in on the women's broadcast this morning.
I was on the drive down here from Vision Australia Radio. I did the sports show this morning, and Roger was very entertained when we heard Lumpy Tennant in commentary. But a great afternoon to be down here. Looking forward to today's game, and thoroughly enjoyed the call whilst coming down this morning.
I had the one job.
If you missed that this morning, Blake's nicknamed the wrong person and given him a nickname he didn't have, Lumpy. So we'll follow that up.
There was just there's another coach in there.
Yeah.
Glenn Lumpy Murray.
Wrong team. Great research from you to start the.
I had one job and I butched it. So
yes.
There you go.
All right. Well, plenty of time to improve across the afternoon. Chris Cordis also joining us on pre-game. Chris, great to have you. I think this might be your first pre-game for a senior men's game, potentially.
Yeah, exactly right. First one on, so keen to get into it.
Absolutely. We've got two senior coaches to come on this afternoon as well, but plenty of games across the divisions to have a look at as well. It is Love the Game round. Love the Game, not the odds. The EFNL partnering with the Victorian Responsible Gambling Foundation once again in 2025, and an important cause, and great to see our involvement there with the VRGF Foundation. Let's talk about some of these games around the grounds, though, because there's certainly a lot to get to across the divisions. It's probably one of the more interesting weeks in the EFNL. Let's start at the top with Premier Division, and a game that me and Spider had a good discussion with Ray yesterday afternoon between Blackburn and Roval. That game out at Seabeck, the Hawks hosting that game. A few outs, I think, Spider, since we last spoke on the podcast. Showermaker's one of those, and I think a couple other names too. So
Shrunk and Gordy and two for the Hawks. So three big outs.
Yeah, it certainly maybe... probably, you look at the two sides, they're very evenly matched, but potentially just gives Blackburn a little bit of an edge, Spider.
Yeah, it definitely sways it in Blackburn's favour, and after last year they won down there, so they'll go down there with some tremendous confidence. I mean, their form in the last month to start the season has been just first class. They've really put the shoulder to the wheel in the first month, and made every post a winner. We saw them a couple of times and early in the season, and they had some really good wins, impressive against Ball, and came from behind against South Croydon. They had to do it the hard way also against Noble Park. They'll admit they didn't play their greatest, but a real opportunity for them at going down to Roval, quality opposition. And if they can get this win, then it really puts them up in that conversation of a potential top 2 or top 3 consideration by the back end of the season.
Yeah. How good was Ray letting us know those three were out? Trying to get his excuse in early for why
he's gone in early.
That alludes to my next thing I was going to mention. I'm just worried about the wet weather with Roval. We've seen a lot of Roval in the past games, and when the rain comes, we don't really get the best out of Roval. So I think the rain could be a proven factor.
It's the game, the way it's going to be played, Blake. I think when you look at it, Blackburn will want to get the game on their terms, and if they can get stoppages And we know that they've scored from those forward stoppages. They've probably clearly been the best team that have been able to do that throughout the first part of the season. They just create scoring opportunities. Their entries into deep into 50, but then their ability to be able to offensive run, their stoppage work, even in the middle, clearance work, and then midfielders like guys like Dorian, Stoddard, Ainsworth, Paddy Law in tremendous form. But then look at the defensive part of the ground today. Like Pat Cotter comes back into the team.
That's a massive hit spot. I've done a bit of research with that one, and he's going to be a big one for Blackburn.
Yeah, and he's ultimately their number one defender, and that's an interceptor. So that's a big plus into that team, and he will really start the way that they want to defend. So, and they've been defending so strongly this year. It's as good a Blackburn team as we've seen in a number of years, and we've questioned them on what their ability and what they need to do this season. Today, they really get to put their step forward again. So the challenge is there for Roval to see what they can do, but just not sure whether they're going to have enough spreader goal kickers, but also that ability to be able to defend the ground a bit, Roval. But look, the challenge is there. I think it's going to be quite a close game. It's just going to be whether they can go with Blackburn through the midfield of the ground.
Chris, you've been at both Blackburn games this season and watched them pretty closely. Although there are some really top tier players in the competition playing for them, some big names, and someone like a Riley Stoddard who seems to get better each week, it is a very, very even side. Having a look at all areas of the ground, everyone plays their role really well.
No, it's a very good point that you bring up, and it's, like we said, Pat Cotter's back into the side here, but they've been able to give themselves a very good foundation to build off for this season, even with him out. I mean, he was there, I believe they're runner-up in most times on best votes in last season, and they've managed to do it without him at the moment. So him back in is a massive moment, but they still have the likes of Cooper Trembath back there. He's been massive as a key defender for them.
And he's reliable.
Yeah. He's very reliable as well. And then you look at it, and even, like you said, Ryan, some of the names that we might not get mentioned or might not get recognised as much, the likes of Nathan Phylactides as well, is been plugging away throughout this season. Every time we see him, they seem to stand up, and they seem to have multiple people that stand up, and it's something we've touched on before, and we've seen them last time we're out there covering them in a match of the round. They got the job done in wet conditions, so they've definitely proven that they can do it. It's just whether they can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely right. The Oracle, who sends in their tips anonymously every single week, has this as a real tight one, Blake, has Blackburn winning this game 97 to Roval 95. If we get that sort of game, they'll be one for the highlight reel.
I don't think we'll be getting the score, I reckon, but it'll be definitely close.
Yeah, I think you're right.
A low-scoring affair. Maybe, I would say highest to about maybe 70.
Well, yeah, I think if Blackburn can hold Roval till about 60, then that gives them a real chance to win this game, because that Blackburn have that capability to score. So if they can get it to around about that 75 mark, that's probably about the par.
Yeah, definitely right. The Oracle tip for the weekend in Premier Division. The Oracle has a ball win also to defeat South Croydon 77 to 59. East Ringwood to defeat Noble Park in a close one, 82 to 71. Doncaster East to beat Mitcham 81 to 57, and Vermont to beat Berwick 51 to 39. So we'll see if those results all end up playing out. Doncaster East, Mitcham, a little bit of interest there, but a couple of key outs, late outs. Donahue out of the side for the Tigers, and I believe there's one more too who were originally listed on the side. Donahue obviously listed with the VFL Box Hill side, so he's out. And it just makes it a little bit tougher. But Blake, we did say they bring back a couple of key defenders in Josh May and Riley Nicholas. Because they're playing a stacked forward line in Doncaster East, which you put under...
Put them on notice.
You put them on notice.
Oh, they're out of it now. They're out of the fairness.
You're happy that they've responded?
Yes, but I did go down to that game last week against East Ringwood, and there was a bit of improvement, but still, I'm kind of agreeing with Ray. They haven't taken a scalp yet. They haven't, they played against, obviously, the Vermont game. They played against East Ringwood last week. Their only wins that they've had is South Croydon, and I think they got Berwick. So what's that show with Doncaster East? Do they want to be that team that's going to be contending for a top four, or do they want to be a middle of the road?
1 second, Blake. We are going to hold on that discussion at the moment, because we are joined by the Surrey Park senior coach in James Kenworthy. James, great to have you on board for another match of the round.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
First time we've seen you live this season. up into Division 2 after back-to-back flags in 4 and 3. Have you found the step up in Division 2 for the side? Obviously flying at the moment, 4 and 1. But how's it been so far?
It's been really good. Obviously, the first 5 rounds been really challenging, but the boys coming into this year really wanted to take it on, and every week's a really good battle. Like you look at Heathmont last week, even though they're bottom of the ladder, they're not a bottom of the ladder side. So each week we've got to bring our A game, and that's what we continually try and do.
Is that the biggest takeaway? I think probably looking at 3 last season, there was definitely a gap between some of the top sides, probably the top 3 and the rest of the division. This year, as you mentioned, Heathmont are 10th, Waverley are about 8th or something, and East Burwood have been really competitive down the bottom end of the ladder. It looks like it's a very even across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Every week you've got to bring a game, and if you're off that little bit, you'll most likely get chopped. So, every week we just got to make sure we get that consistency in our performance.
G'day, James. It's Blake. Good to chat again.
Just don't go with the nickname you're not sure of.
You've already got that wrong once today.
He did remind me, James, after the game. But now, I don't know how to tip this competition, and I'm sure you struggle as well. But how do you prepare? Like that's just my question in this division, because there's been a few upsets, as you are well aware of. Of course, with Croydon getting on top of you boys in that game there, where everyone thought Surrey would win. But how have you prepared for the week coming in?
Well, we're pretty fortunate that all the games get match footage, so a fair bit of watching opposition games. So now that we're into round 6, there's 5 games that we could have watched of the Tempe's team. So just sort of looking back at their results and sort of how they play. And again, we don't want to put too much into the opposition. We've got to be working on our game and make sure we bring that week to week.
Let's drill down, Cuddles. Great to talk to you once again. Good luck this afternoon. Big game. First of all, on a personal note, you're back in the side yourself. Easy selection for you, just to put that magnet in straight into the middle of the ground?
No, not at all. The last sort of 2-3 weeks we've had some forced changes, so the injuries are starting to take their toll a little bit. So, it was just sort of...
How was the body holding up, though, for yourself personally?
Not too bad. So obviously I was out with an ankle. That's pretty frustrating.
Stowe, obviously, the benchmark team at the moment. They've taken all before them in the first period of the season. They've won some games. Stowe, obviously, the benchmark team at the moment. They've taken all before them in the first period of the season. They've won some games, and they've brought some players into their lineup. Guys like Daniel Cooper from South Croydon, who's been kicking some goals. Tested ball was good, and they like to clamp down. There's some of the things you're really going to have to hone.
Great. I had a good chat to him earlier. So, those sort of guys, very strong inside the contest. So, alongside him will be Carl Giovannini, who I play with at Blackie. Fogarty as well. These sort of guys are experienced at the higher end, so we just sort of make sure we look after that. Cooper, obviously South Croydon days, he's an absolute weapon, and we feel with our team set up that we can cover all them.
I want to talk about the chemistry of the side. Obviously, pre-season, there was a lot of talk about how you had the premiership team from 2024 and whether that was capable of going through 2025, coming up a division. But you went out and you filled some needs to come up a division. And it's always that challenge to find that right balance from a chemistry side of view. What were the sort of things that you had to take under the consideration to make sure that you were competitive right from the outset when you're coming up a division?
Well, I think with any division, you need a pretty strong ruck group. You just look at sort of the premier sides that are running around. Every team's got top 4 or 5 side as a genuine big man in the ruck. So to get the Woodfulls back to the club is unreal. So we sort of ticked that off.
And played a lot of good amateur football too.
Absolutely. So both boys played a bit of VFL, obviously charges and all that sort of stuff. So again, that sort of top end talent. And again, sort of looking at our midfield, getting some new guys into that sort of mix. Again, like I've said previously, 10 new guys in from that grand final side. You've got to continue to look to improve.
I just want to mention, and I had a talk to you before the game as well, Paul Hart. Now, he's a really good, respected coach down at Blackburn, of course, coached numerous of Blackburn premierships, and I think Sam's joined you guys as well. How is Paul Hart been? Because I think he's a really respectable coach in the EFNL. How's he been to you?
He's been absolutely super, obviously a ripping bloke. And yeah, just having those years of experience on the sidelines with me is outstanding, and he's really taken charge of that midfield group. But when I'm out there as well, he's obviously taken charge of the bench, so it's pretty much having another sort of head coach out there really with us.
And a premier sort of coach too. He's been at that level, so he understands the game.
Oh, absolutely. He's been with the Rangers and everything, so he's got a lot of experience.
Now, I just wanted to mention this one, and you probably know where I'm heading for this one, but Josh Ward, I hope we've got to mention it.
Tractor Ward.
So, how is he? You know, I know he would be very disappointed not coming here today, but are you missing him around? You know, I know he comes in on a Thursday every time, but how are you, not having Josh around the Eastern Football Netball League anymore?
Oh, it's pretty sad actually. Like, he's been outstanding for the media, however long it's been, and it's great. Sort of having Thursday nights he still comes down, so it's great.
Does he actually pay for a meal now?
No, we shout him.
He told me he doesn't pay. Is that true?
True. No, we love Josh down here. Again, he's been instrumental, and obviously having someone sort of within the media team that's promoting Surrey Park is absolutely huge. Sort of see our success over the last 3-4 years. It's great that Surrey's sort of on the map these days.
So Blake will take over from that, I think, from now on. But James, great to have you on board this pre-game. You've got a big game ahead, a big afternoon. All the best today, and we're looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the side out there this afternoon.
Cheers, boys. Enjoy the call. Thank you.
Thanks, the senior coach of the Surrey Park Football Club in James Kenworthy. And great to be out here. They've looked after us so well every time we've come out to Surrey Park Reserve.
They do, absolutely.
Certainly going to be a big day this afternoon. We are going to be joined by Nick Vatsanis in just a moment. And the two sides, obviously, coming into this season, I think we both rated them as a real potential, and we talked about Baronia coming out of the division, and obviously how even really it is as a race for those top 5 spots. And just joining us now as well is the senior coach of the Templestowe Football Club in Nick Vatsanis. Nick, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Big game, 1v2. Great to have your company.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's obviously a big day ahead, and we talked to you after the round 1 victory against Heathmont. And then since then, besides probably the first quarter of the Wantirna South game, other than that, you've been a really consistent force in Division 2.
Yeah, we've definitely improved. We did a hell of a lot of work on offence through pre-season. We thought defensively we were pretty sound. Obviously not perfect. We're still working in that area. But, yeah, we just thought that, if we could get a bit more fluid offence, it'd go a long way to being consistent week in, week out.
Some of the numbers from Premier Data has just been absolutely ridiculous from the engine room. And Bo not playing today, but his stats have been phenomenal. Fogarty's been big. Giovannini, of course. It's a midfield to die for at the moment. When we're at full strength, it must be real pleasing for you to have those sort of names running through there, plus the depth that are coming through.
Yeah, look, it helps also that we've got such a strong list in terms of where guys can play. So Carlos, I think he broke the records the other week. But he was spending more time forward. Now we've put him back in the mid this week and the last couple of weeks. You've got Mariani, you've got Fogarty, Josh Warren, obviously Big Bowie not playing today, but he's very big in the ruck for us. But I think we've sort of learnt too that Bowie won't be around every week. Unfortunately, he's got an injury now, but he'll miss another game throughout the year. So we're sort of starting to learn, what footy looks like without him at times, which is great. So. They're going all right though, the mids. It's always good for me seeing as I was a mid playing, so it's nice to just pat them on the back most weeks.
G'day, it's Blake Tennant. I just want to touch on as well. You talk about Bo, mention up, obviously clear stand out in the ruck. How's your depth going? Are you happy with how that's all tracking around? I think your Reezy's a couple of goals down. I've seen, Templestowe in a couple reserves grand finals over the years. How have you been seeing that with that?
Yeah, look, we've certainly been tested the last few weeks. I think we've got about maybe 6 or 7 senior guys out at the moment due to injury. So the depth's certainly there. It's just about what's expected of them throughout the day, and that's sort of helping them, come up and fill the role for us on a Saturday.
Nick, good luck this afternoon. B team, when they get ball in hand, how are those sort of things going to impact you from a team perspective this afternoon?
I won't let out all the secrets this early, will I?
but in terms of, what are some of the key messaging?
We've watched a bit of vision on them. We feel like they're pretty high uncontested sort of side. So from our point of view, it's sort of just not allowing them to mark the footy more often than not. They'll utilise their shorts. They do control the middle of the ground, and they play that slingshot sort of brand of footy where, if you allow them to chip it around and find that one that they want to go through, once they go. They're very hard to stop. So defensively, we've got to be on. But offensively too, I feel like we could sort of exploit them in that area too if we start to get on top.
And that's something that you've really improved in with that offense, hasn't it? I mean, we've talked about it over the last couple of seasons, that effect where you've struggled to score, but a guy like Daniel Cooper coming into the lineup has just given you the opportunity to create scores as well, not only from the offense point of view, but also to get those re-entries from a forward 50 perspective and get the forward stoppages going as well.
Yeah. Look, we're not, obviously, you don't have to be a genius to work it out. We're not an overly tall forward line, so we're trying to be a little bit unpredictable in the way that we want the footy to go into that forward half. Obviously, Daniel's been huge for us down there. Not just sort of what he's doing in terms of kicking goals and touching the footy, but just his leadership down there to structure up the forward six as well definitely helps, because we've still got some young guys there sort of learning their craft. So he'll hopefully do that today and get on the end of a few.
And Nick, Christopher Cordes here, you mentioned that you've got a bit of a smaller forward line. With the wet conditions here, I know it's not raining anymore, but assuming the ground's still quite soaked, footy will be a bit wet. Do you think that will play into your hands today?
Yeah, I think so. Look, it's I still think Surrey's very good in terms of. I feel like it'll be a bit of a midfield battle, us v them. It's sort of who can sort of gain more territory and play some fun half footy. I think that's sort of where we feel that we can potentially get on top of them. But I don't think it's too wet out there yet, but who knows what the weather's going to bring it to.
Yeah, certainly right. And just the division overall, I think we've talked about this quite a fair bit every single week, but it's a nightmare to tip because we've had bottom sides beat top sides. I don't think anyone has any idea exactly where everyone sits, but being able to bank 4 wins early and set yourself up, if you get the job done here today, you'll be a game clear on top. That must be a real a big talking point to be able to get one up on another contender. Really assert yourself as one of the top sides in this division.
Yeah, look, it's hard to predict. Even watching games, it's pretty hard to sort of understand, what sides are doing. Look at someone like East Burwood. All the talk about East Burwood as a rebuild, and they've come out and shown everyone up. I know their losing margins have been quite small, but they've played some pretty good sides and been able to compete. So. It's local footy. You're going to lose some games throughout the year, but I feel like if you sort of only lose 4 games for the year and sort of bank 14, you're playing finals, potentially top 3. So that's sort of my goal. Hopefully we don't lose today. Obviously the goal's to win, but it's not the end of the world if we do drop 1 or 2 in the next 6 to 7 weeks. It's more about the consistency side of things and us playing consistent footy to make sure that we're always in the position to win the game.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a fantastic start to the year, and we are very looking forward to this clash with Templestowe and Surrey Park. All the best this afternoon. Hopefully, for your sake, it's win number 5.
Hopefully. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, Ed. To Nick Batsanis, the senior coach of the Templestowe Football Club. And they've been off to a flyer to start this season, as have Surrey Park. And it's very exciting for a 1v2 clash early on, Spider, with these two sides. And a great chance to look at both teams who have had plenty of changes over the off-season. Some names that are such big names in the league now playing it for these two sides.
Absolutely, Ryan. And I think when you look at it, we're going to get a real clear measurement of where both teams are at. I mean, Templestowe, we spoke about it before the season started, where their upside was and the progression that they needed to take. And they've had a little bit of an up and down curve over the last couple of years and just haven't been able to win. They've won a couple of finals, but they haven't been able to take that next step. But now that they've got a couple of those players into the lineup and created a bit of depth, as Nick alluded to, gives them a real big opportunity to go deep into 2025. And Surrey Park, as we know, how strong they've been over the last couple of years, they're giving themselves an opportunity to be competitive straight away. And that's the important thing. They've built the side down the spine, and we've talked about that a lot on both the forecast and the season preview show. So they're not afraid. They want to go places straight away. So they're in to win now, and that's what I like about both these teams. They're in for the now. They're not building for the future.
Yeah, certainly right. Before we had the two coaches on, we went through the Premier Division games this afternoon. Let's move our attention to Division 1, the 4 games this afternoon. And I think we'll start with the South Belgrave-Baronia game. I think Baronia will be hoping for a bit of rain, Spider, with the obviously that tall forward line of South Belgrave, and Baronia very undersized today with Harry Burgess coming out of the side and still no Lake and Collins. So they're going to be it's going to be a big test, and you look at the guys like Taylor Garner, who's had a fantastic start to the season, Tim Smith. I know Simonson's not there, but Clay Tucker. There are that many weapons up there, which is why every side so far who have come up against South Belgrave have really struggled to contain.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you look at it, Baronia are really going to want to make this game a scrap today. They're going to really want to make this as low scoring as they can, but also when the territory game is being played, they're going to want to take every opportunity and be efficient as they can when they go forward. So they don't want to play that high-speed game. They're going to have to change their mode up a little bit today. This is going to be a real interesting coaching point for Matt Clark today, how he goes against a guy like Kristen Hyde in the coach's box. So whether he can really temper their mode, change up the angles, make it difficult for South Belgrave to get their transition going and get those high balls in. So for Baronia, big opportunity for them today if they can get the game on their terms and make it one of those sort of low-scoring sort of games. Because South Belgrave, they like to play one way, and that is fast and kicking the ball in nice and deep and giving their forward targets every opportunity to score. So it's going to be all hands on deck for Baronia and their midfield this afternoon.
Yeah, I reckon. Sorry for the night there. But no, I think it'll be a pretty solid game between these two. I think it'll be today. What I'm expecting is that when Paul will read out the scores around the grounds, it will be a low scoring. There'll be a lot of low scoring affairs today. I reckon. Well,
Baronia want it low scoring play. So South Belgrave won't want that game low scoring. They'll want to kick goals.
Yeah, and if you look at I think you guys mentioned it as well. Your Smiths and Garners. I don't think we'll be expecting, maybe a 5 or 6 goal sort of game from them. I think maybe they'll kick a couple definitely. But I think for me, I'm going to go South Belgrave for this one. I think they've got the more firepower than what Baronia have got at the moment.
Particularly Garner's playing a lot more deeper. Tim Smith's moving up the ground a little bit, and it's been massive for them. I think over the first 4 weeks, Garner kicked 9 against North Ringwood. Chris, can you make the case for Baronia, or does South Belgrave continue their unbeaten starts this season?
Well, I've tipped South Belgrave, I think, like a lot of us have, but I think if you look at it, it's going to be a big statement match for how the division pans out, because obviously Baronia are the new kids on the block, and like we heard from them a couple of weeks ago when we were there in their game against Beaconsfield, there's a lot of teams that they haven't played in a long time. I haven't played at all, really, so I think this one's it's going to be a very tight contest, especially with the rain, like Blake said before. I don't think it's high scoring much, but I think if Baronia can kind of continue to work through that midfield that does so well for them and does so much for them, I think they'll put themselves in the driver's seat for this game. Obviously with the Garners, all 3 of them playing today, and like I said, Tim Smith getting around the ground and pushing forward. Obviously South Belgrave will want to keep the game on their terms, as well as it's on their home turf, so they know that as well. But I definitely think it'll be close. Baronia will definitely have a chance, but I just think if they're not dominant in the middle of the ground, I don't see much.
Yeah, that's
where they're going to win it.
Yep, that's where they're going to have to win the game.
Absolutely. We're going to skip through this game, but the Oracle, just having a look at this tip, has Norwood to defeat Montrose 67-56. So it is confirmed that it isn't Blake Tennant who's the anonymous tipper that's sending this through.
I'm just obviously this is my first game, and I can have my thoughts as well. Not happy with how the team in the red and blue is going at the moment.
Furnace job.
Yeah, they're getting close to it. They're getting close.
Blake, what makes you unhappy? What are the things that you want to see improve from Montrose to get their season heading in the right direction?
Well, I'll listen to the Sunday podcast, and I think you guys were alluding to that Montrose can't score, but they've scored 67 and last week as well. And if you look around, they kicked 67 against Beaconsfield. I don't think most sides will be doing that at Beaconsfield, kicking over that. Obviously, they had the bye. They are scoring, and 44 against Baronia, but they had a few out that day as well.
No, you can't use that as an excuse.
And
44 points.
Hang on, Ray does.
Ray will.
And they kicked 105 against Park Orchard. So
yeah, that's a good score.
And they're scoring. So listen, Montrose can't score. Well, they've scored 66.
But can they defend?
I think
scores?
I think so. And I've just been unhappy with some of the lapses, as you mentioned, and the consistency from Montrose. And I think they have to win. This is a must-win game, because if Montrose want to win this game, they've got Moorback next week, who
going all right.
Yeah, doing okay. And then after that, I think they've got South Belgrave up in the mountains. So, a few interesting games. Could go either way, but I'm just a little bit
nervous.
Too sold on them. Not sold on them yet.
Have you told your mate Gary Ayres? You're not happy?
I do let him know a few times.
Oh, some knives are out. Knives are out. Here we go.
Like I said, in this division, I'll quickly get off this topic, but in this division, the 5th spot is completely open.
We know that.
It's going to be completely open, and I'm saying it right now, it's out of 3 sides who want it, and they'll be Montrose, Moorback and North Ringwood. That's the only 3 sides that I can see taking that 5th spot.
We can't underestimate Norwood, though, today. I mean, in the conditions that have been presented. And the other thing, too, is their first halves the last couple of weeks, Norwood, they've been actually okay. Like, they have been kicking goals, and they've been staying in games for longer. So I expect them to be competitive, and I think that's something that we probably have seen in their game over the last few weeks.
It's always been the second half that gets them all the time. Maybe the young legs. Of course, Norwood being a very young sort of team.
And a bit of the old too, Matthew Bates coming out to play.
How old would he be, Spidey? You've been around the league for a bit.
He'd be at the back end of his 30s, I would have thought. Yeah.
So maybe like the guy you interviewed, maybe around
probably
age.
not quite, but he was playing for Melbourne. No, he was playing for Melbourne 10 years, about 8 years ago.
He was a pretty good player.
Very good player, Matthew Bates.
Yeah. So that's just my take on Montrose, because I haven't been obviously here for a bit, so I just wanted to fill you guys in on how.
Put it on the table on the agenda.
They will be on the furnace if they lose their next couple of games. Tell you that.
Big shout.
Keep an eye on that one this afternoon. The other 2 games, Bayswater have to bye today. North Ringwood play Park Orchards out of Columbia Reserve.
Forgot to mention, it's the Livingstone Cup today as well.
For the North Ringwood Park Orchards game.
Yes, I think it's the Tim Livingston Cup.
Awesome.
Obviously he had
impacted both clubs.
Yeah, huge connections with obviously Park Orchards, because
still there now.
No,
with family still there.
Yeah, because Georgia plays there, and I believe Ben plays for North Ringwood or Park Orchards, one of them. But it's just a big name between those 2 sides.
Well, Tim Livingston was a star in his own right. I mean, had a great VFA career down at Box Hill and played some wonderful footy at North Ringwood, and was on the Richmond list there for a little period of time. He's been a huge name throughout North Ringwood and Park Orchards.
So who's going to be taking home that cup, boys?
Think Park
Sharks
Orchards, but I give
Close.
North Ringwood a real good chance at home. I think if they can get the game in the conditions on their terms, they'll make it a real fight. And we know Park Orchards in heavy conditions, in wet weather, and that certainly will put a bit of pressure because of what happened last year on Grand Final Day.
They're giving up a lot of points, I think, is this North Ringwood side. I mean, Park Orchards coming in with the best attack in the league, and obviously it's wet weather footy, so that might change the way the game plays out a bit. But I like Park Orchards this season. I like them in pre-season. I'm trying to buy their stocks early and ride them through the whole way. So I really like Park Orchards, not only going into this game, but also for the rest of the season. Like you said, I think there's a bit of a sour taste in their mouth from the grand final last year, and I'd really back them to get over the top of this North Ringwood side early. And I think if you can put points on the board early, while it's still dry here, I don't know what it's doing out there in down Ringwood way, but while it's still dry, at least for now, if you can get points on the board early, I think it'll put you in really good stead to dominate the scoreboard for the rest of the game.
That's what Mitchell did the dirty work probably in the second quarter, where it set them up really nicely.
Yeah, definitely right. And then Moorback versus Beaconsfield out at Home Park Reserve as well. That's the final game in Division 1. It was my roughie of the week, Spider. I think Mooroolbark are playing some pretty good football, but this is their biggest test yet. Got to play Beaconsfield away from home. They had a disappointing result against Park Orchards a couple of weeks ago, so they would want to improve on that. But I give them a sniff. I'm still tipping Beaconsfield to get the job done. But their key players, their top 5 players, are all playing some really good footy.
Yeah, look, they've certainly shown some improvement over the last couple of weeks, Mooroolbark, and they'll give themselves every opportunity. Look, it's just going to be how they handle Beaconsfield's top line players, and can they go with them for the whole game, and that's going to be their biggest challenge. I just get the feeling though Beaconsfield are going to be too strong in all areas of the game for them, like particularly through that midfield. I just think that the dominance will be a key factor, and just their ability to be able to defend that Beaconsfield forward line is going to be a significant challenge.
Before we go to a break, Blake and Chris, tip on that one. Can you see a Mustangs win?
No, I can't. I just think we can heavily talk about Mooroolbark. They have not beaten a top 5. They haven't taken a scalp yet, and it was the same what happened last year. So I'm going to go Beaconsfield.
But I think there's some upside in it, Blake. I think they've certainly shown some. Game. Yeah, I think they've shown some progress.
At Mooroolbark, so that could go in their favour, but they need to take a scalp, and it has to be today.
We'll continue this conversation after a break here. We're out at Surrey Park Reserve for the match of the round between Surrey Park and Templestowe. Don't go away.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, well, yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair. Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet. Pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFN
Reserves covering the ground at the moment, but no rain. But we'll keep an eye on that as the afternoon proceeds.
Don't
it is also
that, Ryan.
Okay. Yep. It's also
that, Ryan.
Okay. Yep. It's also love the game round, Blake.
Don't let Katie know.
Love the game, not the odds. Love the game round is a campaign dedicated to raising awareness about the risk of sports betting for young people. We encourage adults to talk to their kids in their life about how gambling really works and who really wins. So make sure you have that important conversation. Don't wait until they turn 18. Coaches as well can make a game plan to talk to their players now about the risks of sports betting during Love the Game rounds.
And of course and clubs as well. Like, I mean, it's just have that conversation within your club and within your teammates as well. we know a lot of players and and families are a part of clubs, and as long as everyone knows the key understanding and awareness of it and the education behind it, then people can certainly be aware of what they need to do and the responsibilities that it upholds.
Absolutely right. Let's jump back into the games around the grounds this afternoon. We talked about Division 1 there, and let's move into Division 2 now, because it's been very hard to predict across the competition all season. Some interesting games this weekend too. Let's start with the Lilydale Eastfield game. The Oracle has sent through his predictions, or hers, we don't know who this is, and predicts Eastfield to comfortably win 77-39 Lilydale. I think it'll be a lot closer, but spot on. I think this is time for Eastfield to finally grab that win.
Yeah, they need to, and we addressed it yesterday in a lot more detail on the weekend forecast about how Eastfield need to go about this game. Lilydale will certainly put a lot of pressure on. They will want a lot of stoppages. They will want to eliminate Eastfield's run and ability to move the ball. For Eastfield, they've got to take a little bit more, dare and risk with their inside run and create some more opportunities up forward today. So for them, there is a big challenge when you go up to Lilydale, and you've got to provide that over a 4-quarter period. So they've really, there is a little bit of pressure on them from a defensive side of their game. And that has held up in the last few weeks. Once again, it needs to. And from a midfield perspective, that really needs to improve, because Lilydale, they do have a good midfield. It's young, but it's certainly of quality, and they will certainly give their all. So I think it promises to be a pretty exciting game for those that get to go. I think Eastfield will get the win, but I think Lilydale are going to be very competitive, and I think they might push Eastfield every step of the way.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Chris, Lilydale have been two different sides. When you've looked at them at home at the LSO, they've had a couple of wins. Away from home, they haven't even been close. So back at home, they'll be pretty comfortable about that, but they've got to just find a little bit more consistency across the season.
No, it's a good point, and yeah, you're right. It's been a tale of two sides almost when they're at home and when they're away, which they are at home this week. So I've tipped them against East Burwood. I think what East Burwood have been doing has been very encouraging from their perspective. But I just think, you look at it, they knocked off the Waverley Blues in round 3 and they knocked off Croydon in round 1 at their home turf. So I just think we're talking a lot about the rain in this pre-game, but I just think they'll get it done again. I think, that's obviously a ground and a playing surface that teams struggle to play on at the best of times. And I think, especially with the conditions now, I think we're just playing in Lilydale's favour. So I've gone with Lilydale to take this one out.
Blake, yeah.
I don't have the record on me now, but if I had to tip this one, I'll probably go. Oh, here we go. Chris has got it. Who have I backed in?
Yes, no idea.
Eastfield, yeah. No, the reason why I tipped Eastfield is because I kind of agree with Spider's theory here. I think the win that Eastfield can go up to Lilydale in a tough condition sort of battle, and we all know Lilydale's home track record's pretty good, but I think the win is not too far away for the Rams.
Just that belief.
Yep. Good chance for them to get their second win of the season. A couple of those other games we talked about yesterday in quite a bit of length, with the Waverley Blues taking on Ringwood at home. The Oracle has Waverley Blues to win that game 78-61. Croydon versus Mulgrave, a tight one according to the Oracle, predicting Mulgrave to win 81 to Croydon 79. And also predicts Heathmont to their woes to continue, Blake, and predicting Wantirna South to defeat the Jets 81-49. We haven't heard your thoughts on the Jets this season. I feel bad. You know what it reminds me of?
Are they in the furnace yet?
They are well and truly burnt.
Oh, jeez.
The amount of teams that are making their way.
There's only 3 teams in there.
Blake, talking about Heathmont this season on the podcast and the pre-game stuff, it reminds me of listening into SEN in 2016 when Richmond were really struggling, and the onus was on them, and I was just like, oh, well, these guys leave us alone. And I'm sure probably a few Jets people are like that at the moment too, because we've been pretty critical, but it's all there on paper.
Oh, 100% it's all there on paper. You've got the best ruckman. Oh, I don't know if he's listening behind me over there. But,
Big Bo?
Yeah, Big Bo, but he'll be probably the joint. Let's just say they've got the best
one
joint.
of.
Yeah. But you've also got in James Appleby as well. And, you've got the captain, Haynes, I've seen he's bopped up in pretty much every best on ground performance that Heathmont has played this year. I'm just getting a little bit frustrated with them. How can you have a great midfield that isn't performing? And, it might come down to they're not kicking it to their forwards as much as they like. And, I kind of agree with the form that Heathmont's been bringing. And it's getting frustrating as a supporter because we're giving them a good look. We're saying good things about them. They're just letting us down. And I tipped Heathmont because it's a reality check for them that they have to win today because if you have a look at the results today, that East Burwood-Lilydale game as well coming on today, if one of those sides can win, East Burwood will be a game behind them. So that's just saying something about how Heathmont's going. And I'm getting frustrated. They've continually been my furnace until I can trust them more and more each week because they've had a few upset losses that should not have happened.
Yeah, you just got concerns with the forward line for Heathmont at the moment. They're just not gelling together. They're just not generating enough scoreboard for me. And Chris Anarkis, who's come to the club as well. Yeah, big game for him. He needs to put one together. But it's not just him because he's the cherry on the top for him. And they've recruited him by accident in a sense because of what's happened down at Doncaster. But I think for what we're looking at is One Turner South are going there with so much confidence at the moment. They've been a real positive story so far this season, being able to generate a couple of wins early in the season. And currently, I think they're a real good chance to win again today. I just like some of the things that they're doing when they're forward of the ball, and some of their midfielders are playing exceptional, and I think their defence is really holding up as well.
Well, it is interesting because if they do win this game, Chris, currently they sit fourth with the 3 wins, on top with one more extra win, but obviously one side will lose today. That really puts them right into the top 3 conversation at the moment. It's a long way to go, obviously, but really sets up their season and gives them a platform to, if they continue on their form, stay healthy, that they might be a finals-bound side, which I don't think anyone probably predicted at the start of the year.
No, that's a good point, and obviously we hope that they can keep away from a lot of injury trouble, which I feel like every time you talk to a coach or you talk to someone from a club, they always say they're unlucky with injuries. But if they can, they've proven that they can hang with the best. I mean, they lost to Surrey Park earlier on in this season, but they beat Templestowe. So they're taking a few scalps. They're doing what they need to do at the moment. 5 games played, 12 points. They sit in 4th, 3-2 at the moment. If you look at them, and we're saying, what is it, top 5?
Yeah, top 5.
Top 5. They're right in there at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Depth has always been a bit of a concern and a conversation, but at the moment, they seem to be handling that at the moment. So if they can have good health on the ground and they've got guys from their reserves development pushing through, they've got some good young players. So it's just showing that they're starting to do some really good things from a positive side of things.
Even with that, I mean, we could be saying that they're not just looking to get top 5. They could be searching for top 3 or top 2 because we saw Mulgrave drop the game to Waverley Blues last season.
Yeah,
last week, one of these teams are going to drop a game here today. So if they can just stay consistent, they could be really up there at the pointy end of the season.
They could be, and that's the thing. I mean, if they can get on a bit of a roll, momentum's a big thing in footy. I think realistically for them, even if they could be in that 4 or 5 spot combination, I think they'd be pretty happy.
Absolutely, they would. Let's have a look at Division 3. Probably a lot of results pick themselves. Everyone would pick Donvale to beat Sylvan with the way Donvale are going at the moment. Cats need not necessarily, you're not expecting them to win this game, but need a bit of a response after a couple of disappointing weeks. Scoresby take on Coldstream out of Scoresby Rec Reserve. Coldstream in a bit of trouble. Mitch Edmonds out of the side now, suspended. I can't see any way that they get over the line at Scoresby today. And Knox and Fair Park, I think everyone's going to be on tipping Knox this weekend against a Fair Park side who's struggling, unfortunately, at both the senior level and their reserves.
Yeah, and at both ends of the ground. They just aren't generating scores, but they're leaking a lot of scores back the other way.
And actually, I think that Scoresby Coldstream result could get a bit ugly. I think Scoresby won't be too happy after last week against the base, and maybe just
coming off a loss.
Maybe just caught them in the wrong week, obviously with Prime Train there and everything. So that could be a real get right game, and that could blow out and get ugly quick.
Yeah, the Coldstream need to be more competitive. They, for a side that played finals footy in 2024, the drop off has been just too significant for me. They're not a side that should be sitting currently second bottom. That's just, for me, with the quality of players that they've got, that for me, that's some real concerns.
And if you're around the grounds, or Pride Train did release the Basin vlog, so have a look at that on YouTube at Pride Train. So have a look there. It looked like there was a big crowd there last week, so have a look at that wherever you look at around with your socials.
Final 2 games in Division 3, which I do think create a bit of interest. Oakley District take on an Upper Ferntree Gully side who have won 3 on the trot, playing some really good footy, Chris. They're playing obviously at Princess Highway Reserve, where Oakley have played the top 3 sides already in their opening 5 weeks, so I think there is a bit of hope that they are one of those sides that can improve off a bit of a slow start to the season. And a good test for Upper Ferntree Gully. If they get a win on the road here, this is going to be massive for their confidence going forward.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think it's 2 teams that are probably looking to bounce back, but also are maybe looking for a bit more consistency. I mean, obviously we knew that Oakley District were probably going to be going through it in the first month or so of footy in this division, like you said, with the real difficulty of their fixture at the start of the season. But I just think on the other side of things, Ferntree Gully maybe just need to shore up a bit. I mean, they had a big loss to their rivals in Ferntree Gully in round 2, and then obviously they get over the top of Fair Park, which a lot of teams haven't had any issue with really, and then they beat the Basin in round 4. So they're building nicely, but I think it's just a couple of teams that are really looking to get their foot down early and start to take those steps in really building more of a push and getting a bit more certainty into their seasons.
Yeah, big challenge, Brian, I reckon, for Upper Gully, but I think they can get over the line. But as I alluded to yesterday, I think the roughie definitely for the weekend is Oakley.
Yeah, I've actually tipped Oakley. The Oracle has this as a tight one, 84-83 in favour of Upper Ferntree Gully out there at Princess Highway. And then spite of the last game, Ferntree Gully then Basin. The Oracle is tipping the Basin to continue their winning ways and get the job done. Out at Wally 2, Ferntree Gully have been hit or miss, probably, you'd say, in the first 5 weeks of the season. We saw, as Chris mentioned, a big win over Upper Ferntree Gully in round 2, and we thought they might be back, but been disappointing when things haven't gone their way. And then the Basin have been a little bit of a surprise pack, and I know the emotion of the day last Saturday afternoon certainly would have helped with Prime Train. Saunders Everson kicking the 6 goals for them, starring for the side. I'm still tipping Ferntree Gully at home, but absolutely would not be surprised if we look at the score at 5 o'clock and see that the Basin have continued their winning ways.
I think the encouraging thing for me is that the Basin are now being competitive in games and they're winning, and that hasn't been the case the last couple of years. They haven't been able to be competitive consistently in games. So now they're starting to get that desire, that result, that outcome. So that is really important for them, and they're starting to string those wins together. So they're building some confidence, got some continuity within their team. And sure, look, they had Prime Train playing last week, and that's the big showcase event, but they're giving themselves a look now that they can start to build upon for the season. So the challenge is for Ferntree Gully, for them to go there today with the right attitude to try and get the result. But I really think the Basin at the moment are playing some really good footy, and I think they can almost get over the line this afternoon.
And just in that, the Basin are one of those teams where it feels like, we're kind of at that point of the season where a lot of teams are starting to find their footing, and looking through the record, if we're looking at the tips, there's probably 1 or 2 games in each division that are probably split 50-50 in terms of who we're going for. I mean, it's Blackburn and Roseville in the Premier Division in Div 1, we're all kind of the same, but then Division 2, we know how hard it's been to tip with the Little Island East Burwood games and Templestowe and Surrey Park here today, but also, Upper Ferntree Gully against Oakley and Ferntree Gully against the Basin is another 2 in Division 3 that is, we're splitting down the middle, and we don't often see that, so it's very good to see, not just in one division, but really across all of our competitions here at the EFNL, that we're having these teams rise up and putting good spectacles of footy together that are tough to call.
Blake, you were down at Batterham Reserve on the Thursday night before that game against Scoresby. Yes, I was there too. And the vibe around the club has been pretty good. And then that's, I think, obviously the culture really helps when you get some wins on the board. And you could really tell a difference at the club, probably from what it was last season.
Well, it was heavily scripted and documented. 19 losses coming to the Basin's way, of course, coming down a division, and I think it's definitely up and about right now as we speak. Been there last week, seen Prime Train, seen everyone, just up and about. I think they needed that, that sort of a
bit of a lift.
Yeah, a bit of a lift. you know, they have had a few legends play for that club. You know, ex-AFL players, of course, with Dane Swan and Barry Hall. You know, they've had a few big names, but I think the base that is definitely lifted them up.
What's that sugar hit, isn't it, for a team? You get that sugar hit, everyone gets on board, and it takes it to that level, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. So keep an eye on that game.
It'll be an interesting game, low scoring affair, I still think.
I agree. It was maybe similar to what Furniture Gully had last week against Coldstream.
Yeah, I wasn't predicting that sort of score, though. Like 45-32, I believe that was.
Well, not last week when conditions were a lot better than today. So potentially that might be the type of scoreline you get this afternoon. Division 4 created a bit of interest this weekend, and some of these games, obviously, Bulleen Templestowe, it's a big opportunity for their second win in the Eastern Football Netball League after winning in round 1 against Warrandyte. They host Forest Hill, and the Oracle has them only winning by 2 points, 61-59. I think they might get away with a bit of a bigger win, Spider, on their home deck, and you've probably predicted them quite well in the last couple of weeks.
And they'd be very proud of what they've done so far in the opening games of the season. Haven't been able to quite get over the line in a couple of the games, but they haven't been disgraced in any either, and I think that's the thing. They've been ultra competitive, really important, and I think that they're still building, and we're going to see them get better in the back end of the season. I still have some real optimistic hopes for them to play finals. I think they're going to be a team that's really hard to beat, particularly at home. That Tedajani, it's going to be a bit of a fortress for a lot of sides going down there, but I expect them to get the win today, and I think they'll win pretty comfortably. I'm just not sure Forest still can curtail that midfield, but also defensively stop that forward line of Bulleen Temp, which guys like Davis, Young, etc., who are very elusive, and I think it'll be able to kick a winning score.
Yeah, I'll probably reckon over 50 points. I reckon that'll be the margin for that. It's just been a terrible sort of year for Forest Hill, unfortunately.
Well, it's not a terrible year, Blake. I think there's certainly they made some progression, but there's still a lot of work to do. It's going to be small steps before we see the big steps and the big outcomes.
Well, haven't won a game, Spider, and
but sometimes the wins cannot indicate that.
It's getting a bit concerning though, Spider. Like that 113-point loss last week was a bit concerning for me, and the reserves aren't showing that as well. I think they even had a 100-point loss, so I think it is concerning times right now for Forest Hill.
I do. Sorry, Blake, to cut you off. I do agree with you there though, because I feel like
I'm sorry, Spider.
I understand that.
If they can't pull it off against Bulleen Templestowe this week, you kind of look at it and start to think, well, where are the wins going to come from for them? Because this is a team that's only one spot above them. Their percentage is a bit grim at the moment. Obviously, you're going to have teams that are going through a bit of a rebuilding phase. They're going to have it hard at times. But
our expectation wasn't there for them. So there's a difference between concern and expectation. So we didn't have the expectation on Forest Hill this year. This is going to be a real slow burn for them. So this is going to be, they're going to have to take some small steps before they get the results. They've got some new players into the team. It's going to take a little bit. I still think they'll win a couple of games during the year. I don't think they're going to go winless. I just get a feeling throughout the year they'll win a game that's unexpected. But just today they're not going to be competitive enough.
If they can get a four-quarter performance soon, they've shown signs. Glimpses, you're right, Spider. They've had positive first halves, exactly. And then they've let the game spill out. So if they can just take they not necessarily win today, but if they can take a few more steps, get a closer result, they can certainly take that on board going forward. Kilsyth versus Whitehorse out at Pinks Reserve. Blake, the Oracle has Whitehorse winning that game 76-62, and I think that could be almost a similar sort of.
That's on par.
Yeah, I think I'm tipping Whitehorse to get the job done, but I think Kilsyth are going to be competing off the bye, which is hit or miss. You don't know what you're going to expect. But what are you expecting out of this contest between the two sides? Pioneers undefeated going into this clash. I think it was Horvath again who kicked another 4 goals last week, and just seemed to have the answers every time they've been challenged.
Are we kind of, I wouldn't say, would you say the word shocked that Pioneers coming into this year are undefeated?
No, I wouldn't be shocked.
Were you expecting it to see them?
I mean, I thought Churnside would beat them, so
yeah.
Maybe I didn't think they'd be undefeated, but not shocked.
Yeah, okay. But, they did obviously make the grand final last year, of course, but I think I'm really liking, what I'm seeing from Whitehorse at the moment. Andrew Haining he's an experienced player, but obviously going into the coaching role this year, the last couple of years for Whitehorse. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Kilsyth, I'm still not sold on him, just due to a few concerning parts. Yes, they beat Templestowe, but there's a few other results as well that I've been not sold on.
I think they're a bit of a work in progress, Kilsyth, and I think we're going to see their best footy in the back end of the year. I think they can definitely push Whitehorse throughout the course of the afternoon, but I expect Whitehorse to find a way to get over the line and just get the job done. I think it'll be a pretty tight affair.
I just heard the roar out there. I was just checking if it was a Matt Kelly goal in the reserves, Blake. I don't think it was.
Tell you what, every player got around him, whoever it was.
It wasn't Matt Kelly, was it?
I think it was the 150 gamer.
Yeah, the 150 gamer,
Yeah. The 150 gamer that played today. They had a huge banner as well, so that was massive.
I mean, they've already won the game, so it certainly wasn't it wasn't for that.
If you're around the grounds and you want to know reserves footy score, I know we all like a bit of lunchtime sort of footy, but Surrey Park lead 10-5-65 to Templestowe 3-9-27. The ultimate Rezzies.
All right. Final game in Division 4, Warrandyte take on Croydon North Hemlock. And the Oracle has Warrandyte winning that game 94-83. Good test here for the Kangaroos, Chris.
Yes.
We've liked what we've seen in patches. Again, Warrandyte have certainly had their moments this season, but struggled on occasion too. So I've tipped Warrandyte because it is at home, but wouldn't be surprised if the Kangaroos can pull off another victory.
Yeah, I've agree with you there. I have tipped Warrandyte as well, but I think Croydon North have just kind of so far, they've been doing what they need to do. They're plugging along, they're picking up wins where they can. They sit in fourth with the 8 points where, big win last week against Forest Hill. The only kind of question I have around the Kangaroos there is just, was it a bit too easy? Sometimes you look at it and think, you need those tight games to keep moving, and sometimes you can take a bit of a load off with a win that big. But look, I mean, it would be foolish to try and take negatives out of a win that big from last week. So Croydon North have been doing really well. I just think we're still yet to see the best of Warrandyte. I think they can really put together some good footy when they're on, and it's just a question of whether today's going to be one of those days.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be a big game, isn't it, Ryan? I mean, I'm probably leaning towards Warrandyte just at home for that purpose, but Croydon North, they're certainly showing that they're capable and they're on the improve and they're on that trajectory. We know that they've got some blokes coming back into the team this week, so that'll certainly help their cause. I think it'll be a pretty tight game. I think it'll go down pretty close to the wire. And if a guy like some of their experienced guys like Lee Odermatt, as we discussed yesterday, can really rise to the big occasion and lead from the front, then they're every chance to get over the line. But just have a bit of a feeling that Warrandyte might just do enough when they really need to.
Yeah, I agree. I'm tipping Warrandyte there. I think that might be time for our last break here before we get started. Yes, absolutely.
First time I think we've done it for a long time. It was only because the coaches came
on
time, one after the other.
Absolutely.
Very
switched on
for
here, both Nick and James.
Nick and James, yep.
Well done. It's should be an exciting day. If I was still playing footy, I've obviously gave that up. But I think this
There's
is
still
perfect.
time for a comeback.
Yeah, I've been asked.
I thought you were playing down at the Forest Hill Reserves this year.
Yeah, I was.
That was Dyson
it's in
Baker
progress.
years ago.
It's in progress, but I think I might actually be lining up. I don't know. Maybe next week, Spider.
We're ball and seniors next week.
Nah,
he couldn't do better.
There's a local derby if you think about a particular team. So
okay, well that's kept all our listeners on bated breath to find out where Blake Tennant will be playing next weekend.
Watch the views, absolutely.
Yeah,
but no, it should be good. Perfect. As I was getting to, if I was playing footy, I'll be loving these conditions. It's I'm not saying that
they're made for you, mate.
It should be
all right, we're going to close it out because we're going to go to our last ad break before we bring the call team for the Eastland match of the round between Surrey Park and Templestowe. Stay tuned on Radio East 98.1 FM and our Facebook and YouTube stream.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her two young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Surrey Park Reserve. It is Surrey Park taking on Templestowe. It's 1v2 at Surrey Park Reserve here in Division 2. A high-quality Eastland match of the round coming up. The reserves game between the two sides at the moment. It is the full-time siren, and Surrey Park had won 10-5-65 to 3-12-30 Templestowe. I'm Ryan Long, and we've got the full call team in and assembled. And firstly, I'd like to welcome back Brett Beston, who's made the trip down to Surrey Park. Great to have you on board this weekend.
I got flown in by chopper earlier today, so I just... always nice to be back, boys. I don't get over as often as I used to, but once a month, so this is my month. So great to be back and looking forward to a really good game for this top-of-the-table clash.
Well, we'll spend this pre-game on catching up. How have you been? What have you been up to lately?
Not much, mate. Just working. I've actually been on holiday for the last couple of weeks, so I go back next week. Boo, but yeah. Yeah, so just kicking back and relaxing. But no, I've been looking forward to this one for a while. So came over this morning and caught up with the family and sort of got to do a bit of that, and now on to the game. So looking forward to it. But I still watch on Saturday afternoons and keep an eye on everything. So it's
what about the Bulls? 2 wins. That's a good start for them. Obviously, a lot of change at the side.
I've got to be honest with you. I look at the team now, and I scarcely remember. I scarcely recognise any of the names. Like it's such a different team now. There's no Sketchers, no Martins, no Horton Milnes. All those guys are all gone. But look, good luck to them. They're doing well.
Yep.
So they may surprise, but it's a very, very different look this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely right. Chris Cordis will be calling alongside Brett this afternoon. Chris, we had you on the pre-game too. Big day. Surrey Park Templestowe. First look at both sides this season for us, and I think everyone's pretty excited just to see how it's going to play out. A lot of unpredictability in this division.
Yeah, no, it's very true. It's very true. And we've seen that Division 2 has been so tight and so unpredictable, like you said. And with these conditions, it should be a bit more. But very happy that we're able to get down for such an. Personally, it's my first time down here at Surrey Park with you guys. But Josh Ward's been in my messages, making sure that I make sure to promote the Panthers and really let everyone know how well they're doing. So I'll be doing my best today. But try not to take it as far as Josh hopefully.
The first thing I got asked when I walked in today, is Josh here?
They've lost their privileges now that he's not here. There will be more of a Dockers bias call without the old mate here this afternoon. Matt Spider-Lee also joining us on the special comments chair. It's a big afternoon ahead, and I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing how the two sides match up.
Afternoon to you, Ryan, and all the team. Great to be on board, and all of our viewers and listeners. It's going to be a great game. Really looking forward to it. One that's sprung a lot of anticipation over the last few weeks. Templestowe doing some really good things, as I early in the season thought, and I had them as my premiership fancy and tip, and Surrey Park also performing really well as well. So looking forward to this afternoon. It's full of promise, and I expect a real high quality close game.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Yaconi also joining us around the grounds in the School Centre.
He's up and
today.
about, Paul, because of the
Swannies won last night.
Cheer the red and the white.
Been calling the women's game this morning. I'm sure you're looking forward to today's clash as well.
Yeah, absolutely, lads. It's a good day. It's always good to be back here at Surrey Park, and the weather. I won't say anything about the weather, but at the moment it's really good. It is holding at this stage. That's right, Spider. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this contest. Top of the table clash, and hopefully a really high quality game.
Yeah, I think it certainly can be, and we've got the two boundary riders making their way out to the far side. Hopefully they've got their headset connected. Jared Beanland, I believe we've got you down there with Blake Tennant. Jared, great to have you on board for the first time this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good to be on board. Is this microphone on?
Just get Jared.
Hello. Okay, switching microphones up down here. We're figuring it out as we go. But yeah, great to be here on this afternoon. Thank you very much, guys, and g'day to all the listeners. Fantastic 1v2 clash at the moment here at Surrey Park. As Paul said, the weather's holding for now. Fingers crossed for Blake and I. That continues to be the case for the four quarters. Are we giving tips, guys?
Yeah, while we've got you down there, we'll get your tips.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got Tempe by about 3 goals, I would say.
And also down on ground level with Jared, Blake Tennant. Before you tip, what are the conditions like? Is there much wind out there?
Yeah, g'day listeners. Yes, there is a little bit of a wind. It's coming towards the back of me and Jared. So
is it cross breeze, Blake? Is it a cross breeze, or is it going straight down the ground? Paint a bit of a picture for our listeners.
I think it's coming towards us. So probably up the north sort of thing. So it's not going to really affect the scoring wise for both teams, I don't think. But yeah, my tip for this game, I'm going to go with Jared here. I think Templestowe, for me, I think they're obviously scoring a lot of games, and they're doing a lot of good things at the moment.
Thanks, boys, down on the boundary, doing a great job. Paul, your tip this afternoon between the two sides, where are you headed?
Yeah, I've gone Surrey Park by about 2 goals. I think it'll be close throughout, but I think I feel like the weather might come in at some stage of the afternoon as well, and I think it'll be really close throughout, but I think in the end I think Surrey Park will get up by 2 goals.
That's by the lead.
I'm tipping Templestowe. I think they'll win this game by around 2 goals. I think it'll be an arm wrestle for the majority, but just have a bit more confidence with Templestowe if they can get the game on their terms, that they'll be able to score. They've been scoring a lot better this season. I think what it comes down to is Surrey Park, if they can get their ball movement going, the speed through the midfield of the ground, and really get on top of the Templestowe midfield that's in outstanding form, that'll give them an opportunity. But I've just got a bit of a feeling on this one. Templestowe, and both layers of their game, offence and defence, is working well at the moment.
Templestowe in their white/grey clash gear with the purple arrows. Brett Best and Chris Cordis, your tips this afternoon?
I'm going to say that Surrey Park go big, actually. I'm going to back the Panthers by about 31 points, I think, today. I just think Templestowe have been really taking a scalp so far this season. The Panthers have been able to get over the top of a few good sides, so I'm going to back them on their home pitch.
I like Surrey as well. I won't be quite that dominant, but I'll say maybe we'll go for 10. 10 points in favour of Surrey at home today.
Josh Ward just texted and said Surrey Park.
Yeah, well, I think that was his answer, 31 points. I'm backing Templestowe, the visitors, to get the job done, but I think
he's supposed to be working anyway. What's he doing texting us?
Yeah, true.
So umpire holds the ball aloft, and Chris Cordes to get us underway.
And we are underway here in our Eastland match of the rounders. The first clearance is going to go the way of Templestowe, but intercept mark taken straight away in the likes of Nick Kahn, who's got 7 intercepts a game so far this season, and he'll look out to this broadcast side that the Panthers will look to use. And it's now in the hands of Callum Garvin, who would chip down the line, find a teammate in Connor Ryan, who will look to go in the middle now and find a short lead up. So ball's in the hands of Kane Hendon, Surrey Park with the early dominance.
Just going from side to side at the moment, bit of a filling out process on the boot of Haynes. So important in the defence. His kick is not a great one there, out towards the far side. Still in possession though, Surrey. They've done very well to keep the ball at this stage. Little handball out there, but goes to no one in particular. Now they get down the line towards the boundary. Nicely done there by Khan. Gets the kick on and bouncing towards the boundary, trying to get his hands on it was Hart. And it's over the boundary, but promising start from Surrey Park. Working it down the flank and the ball out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in.
We'll have a throw in just outside of the Panthers forward 50. They've been able to use a few uncontested kicks to chain up here and take some territory as Woodfull was in the ruck there for the Panthers. Has come out off hands around the footy, looking to soccer it off the ground was Matt Mariani, but couldn't quite make contact as they're looking to bring it out now. Mariani around the footy again. Now Paul will call for a
boundary.
Ball up. Does he go boundary side to Jaron Beelan?
Just some quick matchups down in Surrey Park's forward line. We've got Hayden Telford. He's being followed by Doug Wooten, an underrated defender in my opinion. Tom Smith has gotten Ryan Giovannini following him around, and Matt McClellan has gone to Sam Hart.
So a few interesting matchups to keep an eye on there as we'll have another ball up, just centre wing.
So umpire throws it up. There's the bit inconclusive in the ruck. A strong tackle put on there as the ball spills away. It was Giovannini who had it and lost it, and the umpire's going to pay a free kick by the looks. So Surrey Park, he must have paid holding the ball out towards the boundary, and is it still on over there? Yes, it is. So a little handball over the top, floating one there from Furzis, and it's a little bit messy over there on the far side. Up go the big men, punched away towards the boundary, and over the boundary she goes. So all the play on that far side of the ground, as it often is when we call these games.
Always the way, isn't it, Pesto?
Yes, not one for us people that don't see very well, but never mind. As the umpire throws it in, far side. Up they go, trying to get hands on it there was Bacon, couldn't quite. Ball on the ground, diving on it again. Bacon trying to get it free, might be penalised here. What does the umpire say? Nothing doing, and we'll have a ball up.
So locked on that far side wing here as both teams vying for a bit of territory early on as ball's up, true centre wing. It's coming out the back, bodies dropping around the footy, and there'll be a free kick awarded to Surrey Park here. So a chance for the Panthers, and it's in the trusty hands of Kane Hendon. Averaging 30 touches a game so far this season in 2025 as they'll take a mark and look to go through hands to Jack Mann, who looks inside forward 50 now. No lead up target. It was off the hands of Ryan Giovannini. Now the ball spilled out. The Dockers need a repel now. They've got a spare man at the back. They'll look to use him. Footy just sat up for him temporarily. 1v1 contest below the ball around. It was Nicholas Bird, couldn't quite take it cleanly. Wrapped up is a Panthers player. Bird around it again. Can soccer it to himself and get a handball off now. They've got a bit of space as Kenworthy's applying the pressure and they're looking to bring it through the middle, but Kenworthy's on the footy again for Surrey Park. The head coach that we heard from in pre-game, and it's sockered off the ground just out for a boundary throw. And finally the footy's right in front of us.
Great second effort there by Kenworthy. First of all, they butted up and then went again.
Lucky it's not AFL, that would have been played as deliberate out of bounds. Crazy rule that is as the ball gets thrown in. Rucks whistle, and it was Woodfull who might have got the tap down that time as they go inside 50 Surrey Park. A bit of defending to do for Giovannini of the Carl variety. Ball on the ground, and the umpire says, let's have a ball up. So still waiting for our first goal. It's been a good contest so far. Ground looks in reasonable condition despite the fact that we have had a bit of rain as it's one out of the ruck there by Templestowe, and we're going to have another ball up, so pretty much almost in exactly the same position.
And Woodfull's a very experienced ruck for Surrey Park, so we'll watch his progress throughout the day.
So another ruck win for Templestowe. It's almost to the goal square, and it's taken across the goal line.
Boundary.
And we'll get a point, should I say, as the ball goes through for a minor score. First of the game, and we'll go down to the boundary with Jared Beamley.
Yeah, a couple more matchups in Templestowe's forward line. George Haynes has gone to Kazakis. Jack Woods has gone to Dan Cooper. That's a big matchup for the day.
Fucking Carmel roasted forward again on the left boot. Might drop out the back of the pack.
1-2 to no score.
And I believe Blake Tennant has a jumper change down on ground level.
Yes, so number 75, Marcel Hage, is wearing the 31 from the 75 today.
And do you know his nickname, Blake?
No, I don't know the nickname, mate. Sorry about that.
So we've got a free kick over there on the far side. I told you there'd be at least one jumper change. It was absolutely just...
They're always...
You just love the jumper changes, don't you, Besto?
They said there's no jumper changes, and I said rubbish, there'll be at least one. So the ball goes down the ground, nicely taken by Mann. He'll be a key figure today for Surrey Park. Now he pumps it long, looking for the big man in the goal square, but back there and using his body nicely was big Doug Wooten, and he takes the mark in the goal square. Doug Wooten, and he takes the mark in the goal square.
Should be looking to switch here.
It was Wooten who will look to use a corridor instead. It's perfectly weighted kick that will find the way in the hands of Carl Giovannini. Templestowe just looking to slow down play perhaps now. They have a few spare in their defensive 50, but we'll look up the corridor, and it's well calculated into the hands of Josh Warren. Warren has been doing seemingly everything for the Templestowe side this season. Will kick to a 3v1. He's asking an awful lot of his teammate, Nicholas Bird, and Bird's done terrifically to win out. It's in the hands of Yannick Kazakis here, who'll look forward. Harges under the footy, but it's bounced down into the hands of Jamie Glare, who looks to the corridor. Big man in Woodfull's got the ball. He's wrapped up by Warren. Footy comes out, just torpedoed through the centre. And waiting under it, uncontested, and taking the intercept mark was Ryan Giovannini.
So Ryan switches the play across the far side of the ground, not the greatest of kicks. McClellan's got a bit of work to do. Gets around his man though pretty comfortably, and he puts a kick down the line. Up they fly, ball still in play over there on the far side, and probably finish up with the ball up, I would say, as everyone dives in there. Mariani, look at him in there like a bull. But it's not going to come out. He does take possession of the football, but the umpire says, I've had enough of this. And he blows a whistle, and we'll have a ball up. So
that's the way he plays, Besto, Mariani.
He does. He's as tough as nails. So umpire to throw it up. Up they fly. Went out of ruck by Big Woodfull. He's certainly got a decent reach on him. And the umpire comes in and says, we will... Secondary ball up, is it? Yep, secondary ball up over there on the far side.
So again, must be a magnet in the footy, dragging it out as far away from us as possible here as we're on the boundary at Surrey Park Reserve, but it will be the Dockers to bring it out in the form of Chikuya, who would just send it forward on the right boot, looking to take a bit of territory. Surrey Park Panthers playing in front there. It's off hands, couldn't quite take it clean. There's been high contact. Free kick awarded to Surrey Park, who will look to go quickly. And it's in the hands of Nick Khan. He's had a brilliant start to this match in the long season. He roosts it forward, 1v1 contest. And mark taken terrifically there by number 6 in Hayden Telford. Telford will be kicking from 40 out, little to no angle as it's on the right boot. Kick is on its way. Goal umpire barely moves.
Murrelbach 1-1-7 to Beaconsfield 1 straight 6. South Belgrave 1-8 to Baronia. Yet to score. Montrose 4-4-28 to Norwood, 1 behind. North Ringwood 1 straight 6 to Park Orchard, yet to score.
So ball has gone out of bounds in the right forward pocket. The Templestowe attacking into the grounds. Thank you, Paul. We'll be keeping you right up to date with all the important scores around the ground. So if you're sitting at home watching this one and you're wondering how your side's doing or other sides are doing, we'll keep you right up to date. Flying over the top there nicely was Ryan. Ball comes out nicely done. It's Hendon. He's going to be a key figure today. Such good with the disposal. He gets it out to the far side of the ground. Finds a target as well. And a little overlap. It's Fellahay who gets a little kick down the line. Nicely grabbed over there. Mahan, far side of the grounds. Looking around for someone to kick to. Decides just to pop it short down the line. Finds a target as well. They've done a lot of this Surrey Park so far. Happy just to chip it down the line and just keep possession. Now they go inbound. Left foot kick. Inside 50, can they get a mark? It's a decent fly. Going up there was Tom Smith, but he's beaten to the footy, nicely marked by Tricula, and Templestowe will bring it out.
It was a high flyer, Tom Smith, but it was best at that time as marks taken here by Joel Woods just in front of us on this broadcast side wing, and we'll look to a one-on-one. The lead up was good, juggling, still juggling. Finally taking the mark was Alex Brown, who looks towards the boundary side. It's a terrifically drilled kick. Fires the hands of Jackson Lee, and there's 25-metre penalty, maybe a bit stiff, but it's deemed that Matthew King didn't stay on the mark. So
I think he just stepped over the line. The player
from Surrey Park stepped over.
So Lee hands it off to Fasanella, who gets it inside 50. It's off hands. Massive torpedo on the left boot from Jamie Blair. They're looking to clear his lines, and he's dropped right into the waning arms of Jasper Mundy. So if the Panthers want to go quick, they might be able to catch out Templestowe here, but the kick wasn't good enough through the corridor, and it's in the hands of Daniel Barnes, who will send it forward. Return to sender, and Surrey Park just have a few spare behind the footing. Will take the intercept mark and look to bring it out of their defensive 50 now.
So George Haynes with a short kick, but it's not a particularly good one, and it's been turned over there by Bird. Here's a chance now, funny little kick, but it's back in the hands of, I think that's Fallahay, is it? The ball on the ground, and they dive on it there, but getting themselves in a bit of trouble, Templestowe, on attack, on defence should I say, as they now get it back and they thump it forward, and the mark is taken, so Surrey Park will bring it out of defence.
So the Panthers just able to set up a few spare behind the ball as Hendon's got the footing now, fakes one way, looks inside the corridor and finds his teammate in Mundy. So Mundy assessing his options now as they're just slowing the game up for now with the Panthers. Hit the scoreboard early, no real pressure on Mundy at all as he just roosts a high ball that might come down with snow on it. It was Telford against his man Wooden again, and the footy spilled out. So a key matchup there is Telford's attracting the attention of Wooden. Every time the ball goes up, it's those two flying for it.
Bit of a difference in the way the balls are going into each other's forward lines at the moment. A lot more cleaner, Surrey Park.
So Doug Wooten, such as Chris mentioned, a terrific defender, so that will be a good draw. One to watch as the ball is taken from the clearance into the hands of Fallahay, but he's monstered on the ground and we'll have a secondary ball up. So up it goes. In fact, it was Wood, sorry. And he gets taken to the ground. It might have been a case for a free kick there. Umpire said nothing doing, and they were across the boundary line. And guess what? They're in front of us. So they'll have a throw in. Lucky we've got the monitor screen. I'd be absolutely hopeless as the umpire gets set to throw it in. There it goes, right over the back. One there by Templestowe. And the ball is on the ground. Actually, there's a number 31 for Templestowe, I think, that was in that ruck. Who is that?
That's Marcel Hage.
Oh, that's Hage. It is too. My bad. I did see that on my my running sheet.
Around the grounds.
Just some Div 2 scores. Eastfield 1-3-9 to Lilydale, yet to score. Mulgrave 3-1-19 to Croydon, 3 behinds. And Wanney South 1-1-7 to Heathmont, 4 behinds.
So it was Nicholas Bird who got the ball, received it wide. He's had a fair bit of the footy so far, and it's Fasanella looking to just handball in front of him and run onto it. He's mismatched out there on the far side wing. We'll have another boundary throw in. So a bit of a cagey affair so far at Surrey Park leading 1-1-7. Templestowe still yet to score. Just seems like every time the Dockers get the ball forward, there's Surrey Park spares underneath the footy. But they have another chance here from the stoppages. It's looking like we'll just have another ball up just inside the forward 50 arc. So Templestowe with the territory dominance here for a moment, just looking to hit the scoreboard.
So a bit of pushing and shoving from Daniel Cooper. He's a key factor today. 17 goals, the ex-South Croydon man. As the ball has gone for, but it's cut off nicely there. Well, worked by Tricula. So what's Christian going to do? Looking around for someone to kick to. It's all a bit slow. And giving the Surrey defence time to reset. Goes into the pocket. Up they fly. Mark not taken, but there's going to be a free kick. And I think it's going to go to Templestowe. Let's just wait and see. Yes, it is.
Yeah, high contact.
So this will be a tough kick, though. I want you to be a fair contender for the goal of the day if you can stick this through. Who's this, boys? I just wait for him to turn around. Can't quite see, but anyway, see no.
Do our boundary riders have an angle of the number on the jumper?
Yeah, number 7, Fensella.
That's Fasanella. Okay, so Fasanella, this is a really tough kick. Thank you, Blake. And he's right up against the boundary. Is he going to go with a conventional drop punt? It's going to be very difficult. He strikes it okay, and it just goes to the right. It was a fair effort, actually, in the end, and through for a minor score. So believe it or not, that's Templestowe's first point of the game, but no real damage done. They trail 1-1-7 to 1 behind at the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and we've had 15 minutes gone in the first quarter.
We go around the grounds to Paul Coney.
In Divi 3, Knox 2-1-13 to Fair Park 1-2-8, Upper Ferntree Gully 1-2-8 to Oakley District 1-1-7. Scoresby 3-2 Twenside to Coldstream, yet to score. Free kick here. Sylvan 4-4-28 to Donvale 2-1-13, and Ferntree Gully 4-3-27 to the Basin 1 straight 6.
So it was Tom Smith that flew for the ball, but didn't come down with it. So it's a free kick And now possession in the hands of Templestowe as Daniel Barnes just looked to clear his lines and take territory with a kick that more or less dropped into the hands of Marcel Harge, who feigned a handball, but will choose to keep the footy for now. And the big man will just find a short target. So go out the Dockers to the far side of this ground down the wing, and ball find its way out. And out on the full at that. So we Surrey Park to bring it back in, and they'll reload through the middle of their defensive 50 through Chris Sardis. And Sardis finds Matthew King now, going at 92% efficiency on the season. King is a good user of the footy. It's Dockers jumpers everywhere, but rising highest was Jasper Mundy. They had 2 or 3 spare there at the drop zone, but Mundy was just able to sniff out where the footy was going to land and got 2 hands to it.
Just smart footy, wasn't it, Ryan? Wasn't it, from Telford? He just waited for Mundy to form a spot, kicked it to the right spot, and then with his vision, hit up a target.
So Mundy from 30 out, dead ahead, looking to get Surrey Park second on the ball. Drop looks good, but he's just hooked to the near side. So it takes scoreboard to Surrey Park 1-2-8, Templestowe 0-1-1 as we go around the grounds for Paul Coney.
Got some divs, 4 scores here. Bulleen Templestowe 2-2-14 to Forest Hill 1 behind. Kilsyth 2-5-17 to Whitehorse 2 behinds, and Warrandyte 2 behinds to Croy North Emlock 1 behind.
So Daniel Barnes got the kick in, and it's fallen rather fortuitously into the hands of Horrowell. He gets it down the line, but that's where the good fortune ends because it's gone out of bounds.
Just going back to that last play, Spider, that was opening up the ground to perfection, and they know this ground very well. They used a teammate there on Matthew King on the outside, and they were obviously able to transition out through Telford. So that's probably their best piece of play so far today.
So we've lost the footy. It's gone right down the back. We might not even see it again. I hope they've got a spare.
I feel like we have this every week, don't we?
Have we ever had a game called off because there's no footy?
There's a Bunnings not far from here.
Blake and Jared are down there. They can go have a walk.
Just on the weather down here, it is starting to spit a little bit. So hopefully this is as bad as it gets. But might become no holds barred at some point.
Just really quickly, we've got a score from Premier. Blackburn have kicked the first goal against Roville. They lead 1-6. Roville yet to score.
Great news, we've got the footy back.
It took ages.
It's about 5 minutes of time added on as George Haynes puts his boot to it and sends it down the line. Up they fly, but getting the front spot there well was Smith. Not Smith, it was Tricula, sorry.
Boys, I have to say it is a very old football. It's one of the training balls they use.
So this is not the game day.
No, it's not. It's a completely old sort of football.
I reckon it's there from last week they played, Blake. Maybe it took them that long to find it. It's just a hill on the far side of Surrey Park that's going down there, but ball's inside 50 that is now in play, which is very good as Nick Kahn gets on the right boot. Just caught the glancing blow high, so he'll be rewarded with a free kick. He's probably been one of, if not the biggest contributor for Surrey Park so far in defences. Templestowe showing no real urgency to get the footy back to the man awarded with the free kickers. We might be playing 45-minute quarters at this stage, but Nick Kahn now finally has the footy in his hands.
And your own time, fellas. We don't want to rush you.
We don't have places to be. That's fine. As Kahn looks down the far side wing, it's a hooner of a kick. Just took a lot of distance there. I was looking to jump and get a handball in one motion was Cal Garvin.
Boys, they've officially got the ball back right now as we speak. The actual one, not the old football that we just got out of bounds.
They probably had to put the swimming gear on to get it from the dive.
Rejoice. So we finally got a Sharon in plays. It's off the hands of Wood. Full looking to tackle Harge. Was Hendon, but Harge was barreling through bodies, and Surrey Park on a free kick. But it'll be a ball up true centre wing on that far side as we are into time on now. Surrey Park with a 7-point lead.
Bit of rain as well, boys, as well.
Everybody wants it at the moment. Good work again by Hart. Second time in this period. Gets the kick in towards the hot spot, but going back and marking well.
Head coach to get you rolled up, taking a contested intercept mark will probably do just that. As he's got a man just to his left here on the wing, and he'll use him in the form of Sardis, who looks forward. Again, another spare in front of the footy for Templestowe. It's brought to ground though, and the snap was from Van der Plyt. It's gone out of bounds on the 4, so footy came to ground again, but off target there. So scoreboard will remain 1-2-8 to Templestowe 0-1-1 as we're now waiting for the ball to be brought back into play. But good news.
It's got to go over the fence, mate.
It's just there over the fence.
Liking the intent from Surrey so far in this quarter. They're wanting to get that ball into a position so their forwards can take a mark.
So once again, not a lot of urgency as they get the football to come back in. It's Ryan Giovannini. Little chip out towards a teammate on the far side of the ground. Finds him safely as well. So just looking to work it out. That rain is getting quite heavy. You can see it on the monitor if you are watching on Facebook and YouTube. We should be listening, of course, on Radio Eastern 98.1, in which case you won't be seeing it. But welcome to all our Radio Eastern viewers, our listeners as well. As the ball is hoisted down towards the boundary. Still in over there, though. Little handball back inside. Taken there for a moment by Khan, but he gets dispossessed. It is getting really heavy now as Surrey Park, far side of the ground. Now they get it inboard. Trying to find a target there in Summers. He couldn't get hands to it. Mann did sort of well. He got the ball back inside. It's still there. Little handball over the top there from Ryan. It's all a bit of a mess, and in the end it's just socket off the ground. And you can see it skid off the wet surface there. Spinning away there was Mundy. Handball off. Here's an opportunity. Little snap for goal, but it's off target. Is it? Yes, it is. It was an opportunity, but it's gone out to the right and through for a minor score. So goals are going to become a premium, particularly as the weather starts to close in. It's 1-3-9 to 0-1-1 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and we've had 22 gone in the first term.
So the Panthers 4 scoring shots, 8 points to the good at the moment as Templestowe look to bring it out and get it to the hands of Carl Giovannini. He's a good user of the footy, but his touches are probably a bit too few and far between for the Dockers' liking this first term, as Matt Mariani's got the ball now, another great user of the football, so they need their big plays to step up here as they look to take territory. It's a shallow entry. Under the footy was Kenworthy, got crunched in the contest, and Hendon looked for a handball out to the far side. It will set up nicely for Sardis, who will look to bring it out, steps one way, then the other. Hoofs it on the right, boot kick's gone straight up, and waiting under it is Jackson Lee. So this up mark taken, and Templestowe will look to use the corridor here, and they did so through Mariani. Played on right into the tackle of Connor Ryan. That's about as textbook of a holding the ball call that the umpires will get all day today. So
that was just a lack of awareness by Mariani there, but also poor communication from his teammate.
So Ryan gives the ball off, and now Surrey Park will come forward again. They've had plenty of territory in this first term. Good mark over there by Mundy. It's going to become very difficult to handle the ball as this game goes on. Need to get the old Grippo out, but they still have it. I think they do. The boot, left foot up, down the line, up they fly. Good spoil lead coming over the top from Harding, and the umpire says we'll have a ball on the far side. So what are we up to? 24 minutes gone. Shouldn't be a long quarter. We've only had the one goal, but we did have the situation with the ball getting lost for about 10 minutes, so that might elongate things a wee bit. Umpire throws it in. Rucks go at it. One there by Haj. He did well on the ruck. Now the ball is on the ground. In fact, it wasn't Haj, sorry. It was his opposite in Woodfull. And we'll have another ball up as the ball once again is into the tight stuff. Last man to get up there was Van der Ply.
Van der Ply wrapped up in the tackle there and doing the ruck work this time is Connor Ryan for Surrey Park as Templestowe will look to bring it out. It was in the hands of Warren but came out quickly and just sending a bit of a scrub kick inside forward 50, and falling on it was Lachlan Summers, but the footy came out. It's a good call from the umpire, and there is a quarter time siren. So a cage affair here in our Eastland match of the round. Surrey Park lead early 1-3-9. Opening up an 8-point margin over Templestowe, 0-1-1. The only goal kicker of the game so far, Hayden Telford. As the rain's coming down a bit more here at Surrey Park Reserve.
So that is quarter time, as we said, 1-3-9. Surrey Park leading Templestowe, one behind. We're going to go to a break here at quarter time. When we're back, we'll hear from one of the senior coaches at the break.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her two young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy to use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to the Eastland Match of the Round out at Surrey Park Reserve. It is Surrey Park leading 1-3-9 to Templestowe 1 behind. Ryan Long joined by Brett Best and Chris Cordes doing the calling. Matt Spider-Lee alongside me in the specials chair, and Paul Uconi around the grounds. I think Paul's got some scores before we hear from one of the coaches.
Yeah, got some scores here in Premier. Donny East 4-1-25 to Mitcham 3 straight 18. East Ringwood 2-2-14 to Noble Park 1-8, Baldwin 4-5-29 to South Croydon 1-8, Rowville 1-3-9 to Blackburn 1-8,
Boundary.
Vermont 2-2-14 to Berwick 1-1-7.
Head down the boundary, Jared Beanland.
Cheers, Ryan. I've got Nick Batsanis, coach of Templestowe, with me. Mate, the conditions are changing up pretty quickly. How's that going to impact the way you play?
Look, it's going to be footy, I assume. Bit lazy with ball in hand that first quarter, and Surrey Park were actually really skillful by foot, and we just allowed them to play that game, that chip mark game. So we'll do a little bit of work around defence this quarter, and we'll see how we go.
And you're also talking about the way you were entering 50 and how you weren't happy with that.
Yeah, look, we're just rushing it and just sort of kicking it to their spare every single time, where we just want to try and use that shallow to allow them to actually exploit that spare sitting behind the footy.
Cheers, Nick. Good luck for the game.
Thanks there to Nick Batsanis down ground level with Jared Beanland, and Spider probably echoed some of the things we were talking just off air.
Yeah, and pre-game too with Nick. I mean, they just have to be a little bit better when they're going into 50. Those kicks are too shallow. You can't just dump kick on days like this. It's not going to get you anywhere, particularly when they've got spares behind the ball.
So back in the middle, up they fly. Mostly one out of the ruck there by Woodfull. Ball on the ground, trying to pick it up over there was Fogarty. You can see it's getting pretty muddy. It was muddy before, but it's a lot muddier in that centre area now. Templestowe, they put it on the boot. It's going to be the case of probably the rest of the game. Just dump it away. Kenworthy, the player coach, goes after it. Mariani now with the footy. Mariani puts a kick towards the pocket, and he's overcooked it a little bit. It's out of bounds, and it's over defence.
Just a quick one.
Thanks for that, Blake. Our boundary rider's down there doing a great job. Braving the conditions for now. There's 2 guys behind you with umbrellas, boys, maybe.
Yeah.
13. So we've got a ball up in the Templestowe forward 50, maybe 35 metres out from their uprights. They're still looking for their first major of the day. Mariani's around the footy, so too is Cooper. And we'll have another ball up. So as conditions play a part in this game, and the pitch continues to deteriorate a bit due to the rain. And there's around the footy is Nicholas Bird, who had a big first term. Hoofing it forward now is Michael Fogarty. A chance for Templestowe and a mark taken. James Kenworthy was behind his man. It was well taken there by Jackson Harrowell.
Yeah, their best forward 50 entry so far, Spider.
Yeah.
They obviously were avoiding that loose that Surrey Park have had and being able to hit up a target.
Well, that's what Nick was talking about just moments ago. Being able to hit up a
play
target.
What was that? The play on was a caller. He elected to play on, but soccered off and brilliantly done so. Like it was the plan all along was Andrew Fasanella, and there's cause for a touch. There's a conference with the goal umpire quickly. I was looking down at my team sheet, so I didn't know what quite happened with the play on call, but the goal's been awarded just like they drew it up, Nick Vatsanis would be saying. So it's Andrew Fasanella with his 9th of the season, and he opened to scoring for Templestowe, who now cut the lead to just 2 points.
At Surrey Park were very confident there that they had touched that footy, but no, awarded a goal.
We don't have the score review in
I didn't even change the scores.
Yeah, no arc, but a good start by Templestowe to get that ball moving a little bit quicker into their forward line to allow their forwards an opportunity to score.
Let's take an opportunity to grab some scores from Paul and the school centre.
Some scores in Div 2. East Burwood 1-4-10 to Lilydale, no score. Mulgrave 5-1-31 to Croydon 1-6-12, and Heathmont 3-4-22 to Wanney South 1-1-7.
So the ball just on the ground as everyone tries to buzz. Thinking about the arc though, it's the arc on TV. They can't get it right half the time anyway. So even if we did have it, so the ball gets over the back, chasing it through, and I think we've got a whistle, and it is a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Surrey Park. So it'll be Bacon. We'll take it. Not a lot of urgency. No, it's not Bacon. Sorry, it's Woodfall, a bit Ruckman.
I'm just watching Blake
Look,
in the
no, he
background
doesn't
walking
look
around the
happy,
boundary.
he?
Absolutely soaked.
Is he coming for the umbrella?
Drown rat down
when you come up to get your umbrella, we'll give you some hard nut pills as well. We've got some of those up here.
Mix in.
Do you want to swap, Besto?
So here's Woodfall. It's a terrible kick. He might. No, it's been taken in the mark by a Templestowe defender. In fairness, it is pretty rotten down there, but still, these young bucks, they don't know what they've got.
I for one appreciate the work that you're doing down there, Jared and Blake, but the footy's come out of the pack and is just sent forward again by Templestowe, looking to take territory. Underneath it was Chris Sardis. 2 fists to the footy, punches it away from Mariani, and ushered over the boundary line now. So Sardis selecting a punch in these conditions as we go around the grounds of Paul Yaconi.
Got some Div 3 scores. Knox 4-1-25 to Fair Park 2-3-15. Upper Gully 3-2-20 to Oakley District 2-1-13. Scoresby 7-3-45 to Coldstream 1-6. Sylvan 5-5-35 to Donvale 3-3-21, and Ferntree Gully 6-4-4 tie to the Basin 1-1-7.
So it's Telford that took a mark and sent a wobbling ball forward, but looking to come out now. The Dockers, the handball was intercepted by Sam Hart. Now Tom's taken high, umpire agrees. So it'll be a free kick to Tom Smith, who was brilliant work out of the ball up in the centre of the field. With the Surrey Park Panthers, Woodfall able to get the tap down, and Telford getting an inside forward 50. So it will be Smith kicking from quite a tough angle for a right footy here.
It's been a bit quiet today, Smith, hasn't he, so far?
Yeah, it's one of his quieter ones for a long time, Besto.
So he'll be kicking from about 30, 35 metres out. Maybe 3 steps in from the boundary on a tough angle for a right footer. Is takes his time in the run up, elects for a drop punt, kick is on its way, will go around, across the face. A few leapers on the goal line, but it will inevitably go in for a rush behind as scoreboard reads Surrey Park 1-4-10, Templestowe 1-1-7.
Boundary.
Down to the boundary, here's Jared.
Yeah, guys, the rain's thankfully eased off for a little bit down here. The breezes started to die as well, so, all looking good.
The sun circulation out central now. Ball gets it out towards the boundary. Nicely done there, the kick forward by Bird. And it's going to be Surrey Park who will take possession of the ball. Handball goes inside. Carnes in the vicinity, but he can't get there. It's still there. Sock it forward. Out on the far side. No one taking position. They're happy just to sock it off the ground. We're going to see a lot of that for the rest of the game because it is a hard ball to take possession of, and it's gone out of bounds on that far side, and we'll have a throw in. Just in front of the scoreboard, which reads 10-7, so 1-4-10 to 1-1-7, so a low-scoring game, as you'd expect in these conditions. Umpire throws it in, one there by Woodfall, who gets the tap down, but it's in the hands now of number 31 in Haj, and they're going to force another ball up as the once again we have another stoppage.
So go around the grounds quickly with Poyakoni.
Div 4 scores: Ball Templestowe 5-2-32 to Foresthill 2 behinds, Whitehorse 3-2-20 to Kilsyth 2-5-17, and Warrandyte 2-6-18 to Croydon North Hemlock 1 behind.
So Marn was wrapped up in a tackle. We'll have another ball up just outside the Templestowe forward 50s. Giovannini's wrapped up in a tackle by 2 or 3 players. Templestowe won a free kick. Umpire will say nothing doing. So we'll have yet another ball up. Templestowe will take the lead with a shot on target here. I should say a goal here, but we'll have yet another ball up. So Surrey Park just taking an inch here, an inch there to get further up the field away from their defensive 50s. We'll have another ball up, as I feel like I'm repeating myself an awful lot here.
Well, it's all about repeat stoppage, Chris. So
and
this is what this game's going to be
Woodfull got wrapped up in a tackle and just sent a jab into the abdomen of Harge. But umpire was right there and didn't call anything, so play will resume. Harge goes up for it. Woodfull gets the second pickings out to Mundy, who's got Hendon in support, and we'll have yet another ball up on that on that far side wing.
Blood rule, Kane Hendon coming off, blood from coming from his nose.
So I'll keep an eye on that one. He's an important play, Kane Hendon. That little punch, it was, there wasn't much in it, but it was right in front of the umpire, but he deemed it was all ticky-touch with stuff as Hendon gets pulled away, appealing for the free kick. It was Marn, actually, I think, is it? Anyway, it's a free kick going the way of Surrey Park. They go short. Can they hit a target this time? Yes, they can. So, and they do. And we'll have a stoppage. Just diving on it there was McClellan. So umpire's going to get sick and tired of doing this today as the ball is won out of the ruck there nicely by Giovannini. That's Ryan. And it looks like another, no, it comes out, just as I was about to say, another stoppage, but not for long as it's dived on there. We'll have another stoppage.
Going to be a real territory battle here, Spider, and lock it in.
It just feels like they've put the clamps on a bit, Templestowe, in the first 5-10 minutes of the quarter.
So the rucks cancel each other out in the Surrey Park forward 50, and we'll have another ball up as we go again, and the footy will hit the deck this time, just pop up. Seems like there's an endless amount of bodies around the footy at the moment.
But this suits Templestowe the way they play, so they will be frustrating Surrey at the moment who want to get a bit of run and carry going in their game.
So we'll have another ball up. We haven't moved anywhere yet. The ball hit the deck for a second consecutive ruck contest, so we'll have yet another ball up as we're really not moving at all here in the Eastland match of the round as Surrey Park still hold a 3-point lead.
Bit of a contrast to last week's game where there was about 1 million goals kicked. It was a terrific game last week, very open as the ball comes forward. Trying to pick it up there was Harding, but he goes without it. Now it's in the hands of Tom Smith, finally gets his hands on the footy to Ryan, little short kick, trying to find a target. There's about a 3-on-1 there, so he's going to do well to mark it, but it's nicely done there, Horrible, I think it was, he got it out. It's in the hands now of Barnes, and it's close to the boundary, still in over there, and it's been kicked forward, should I say, by Templestowe to about the centre wing position. Mariani tried to pick it up, but he was beaten to it by a teammate. The kick forward is in the hands now of Peters. Peters goes back to go forward, now the kick forward. Up they go, there's number 10 and Smith trying to get his hands to it, but he can't do. Spills around, there's Smith again, I think. And on the ground as they try to pick it up, and eventually I think it's going to be a stoppage. Everyone diving on it, appealing for deliberate, and the umpire with a fair bit of leniency today, and rightly so too in these conditions.
So have a ball up in the Surrey Park forward 50, about 40 metres out as Harge will win that. Actually, it was Giovannini that will win that ruck contest, and they're bringing it out now through Mariani and just working the ball forward as Surrey Park have a chance to clear their lines and will do so in the form of Jack Woods. And his kick sitting under it was a teammate, Jamie Blair, who can make to go forward now. Looks for a lead up target and will find one. So the mark has been taken by, I believe, Lachlan Summers. Yes, it is. So Jamie Blair has been quite prolific by foot so far today. Finds a teammate leading up, and Summers will just look to chip one to a free man, and will do just that. So the Templestowe defence switching off temporarily, and it only takes a temporary switch off to get hurt. So it's footy's in the hands of Sam Hart here.
Although it does look like a much tougher angle from here. I know Sam Hart's probably a reliable kick, but
it was pushing the space wide, so that was the thing from Templestowe.
So Hart's kicking from a tough angle, 20 metres out. Drop punt's on its way, and he's pulled it wide. So another behind on the scoreboard as we'll go around the grounds to Paulie Coney.
Got some Premier Division scores. Donny East 5-1-31 to Mitcham 3 straight 18. East Ringwood 4-3-27 to Noble Park 2-3-15. Baldwin 5-6-36 to South Croydon 2-2-14. Groville 1-3-9 to Blackburn 1-2-8, and Berwick 3-2-20 to Vermont 2-5-17.
Ooh, a little upset could be on the cards there as the ball is back in. Templestowe bring it out nicely off half-back. There's a little handball over the top. They've got a chance to go forward now. There's the kick forward off the boot of Woods. Gets it down towards full forward. Half-wood, should I say. Kazakis.
Boundary.
Taking the mark too. Bit of lip there as we go to the boundary. I think it's Jared down there.
Yeah, just while that happened, there was a bit of a melee going on right in front of us. It involved a couple of the Surrey Park defenders there, Woods and Peter Cooper, Daniel Cooper was there. I think it was Alex Brown. So a couple of key matchups missing there in the forward line as Templestowe get their second goal on the board.
So Kazakis puts it through, and finally we have another goal. I thought we were going to have only one goal for the whole game. It was looking that way, but or two, sorry. But that's a nice goal, and Kazakis puts it through, and Templestowe take the lead. So it's a low-scoring affair. 2-1-13 plays 1-5-11, and we've had 13 minutes gone. So we're getting close to the halfway mark of the second quarter.
And Ryan, it's the working of the ball down the ground, isn't it, from Templestowe that's been a lot better in this quarter to create that scoring opportunity. So that gave them the opportunity when they went inside 50 there to get that scoreboard pressure going.
That's right, Mariani involved in that one again.
And he's been involved in a few passages of play early in this second term.
Yeah, some of their best ones. And obviously a great mark too in the conditions. Kazakis could have easily slipped through his hands, but was able to do enough to hold on to it.
They're using the space a little bit better this quarter.
So in this second quarter, it's Surrey Park's 2 behinds against Templestowe's 2 goals. The Dockers now with a 2-point lead as the tables have been turned. Is looking to bring it out is Michael Fogarty. Body's dropping around the footy. Hendon's back out there now after going off for the blood rule, and Sardis is around the footy. It will be holding the ball as we go around the grounds to Paul Uconi.
Got some Div 1 scores. Beaconsfield 3-1-19 to Murrelbach 1-3-9. South Belgrave 3-5-23 to Baronia 2 straight 12. Montrose 7-6-48 to, and Park Orchards 5-5-35 to North Ringwood 2-1-13.
So it's the Dockers looking to burst through the middle, and Mariani gets it wide to a teammate. They've got 2-on-2. If they can go deep inside forward 50 here, they'll elect not to do so and just choose to slow it down. Surrey Park defenders getting back. Mariani's under the footy, but 2 tall defenders leaping over him and getting that ball over the boundary line. And thank goodness for us on this side of the fence so we can get play restarted quickly.
Well, that's the entry that you want, Ryan, isn't it, from Templestowe at the moment. Get it in there, get Surrey Park defenders under pressure.
So umpire to throw it back in. Up they fly. Might have been just for a free kick, but it didn't matter anyway because it's gone through for another minor score. Let's go to Paul and get some more scores.
Div 2 scores. East Belwood 2-4-16 to Lilydale 1-2-8. Mulgrave 6-1-37 to Croydon 2-7-19, and Heathmont 5-4-34 to Warney South 2-3-15.
The bodies just keep dropping around the footy here in the Templestowe forward 50. They've done an excellent job in their defensive 50 by killing the contest and then clearing their lines. So they'll look to hit the scoreboard here as it's out through Daniel Cooper. Snap on the left. It's been out of bounds on the full. So no score there by I'll believe
free kick
for a hit off the ball.
Yeah,
That'll be going Cooper's way. I'm not sure if we have a replay on that, but
just happened just on the point of when he disposed of the ball, and the umpire thought it was fair enough that he got the free kick.
It looks like they're paying it downfield. So
it's downfield. It's a downfield free kick.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the pocket, though.
Do you have something for us on the boundary line, Jared Beanland?
Yeah, that was Woods. He's been giving Cooper a lot of heavy attention in this in the past 10 minutes, and I'll let you go from here.
So as Dale Mustafa wheels around the corner on the left foot, opens up the angle and does terrifically to kick. He's 7th of the season, I should say, and gets Templestowe's 3rd of the quarter.
But that's the efficiency that they do, Templestowe. When they go in, they are looking to score straight away, and they are putting Surrey Park under enormous pressure because the ball is
sponsored too. Good stuff.
Paul in the school centre.
In Div 3, Knox 5-4-34 to Fair Park 2-3-15. Upper Gully 5-4-34 to Oakley District 2-4-26. 4-2-26-7. Scores Coldstream 4 straight 24. Donvale 6-4-40 to Sylvan 5-7-37, and Ferntree Gully 7-4-46 to the Basin 1-2.
So in the middle of the ground as the umpire throws it up, he needs to be ambidextrous because he's going to get such a sore arm throwing it up about 1,000,000 times today. As the ball goes forward, bouncing into the hands there nicely of Woods, and now it's in the hands here of, I think it was Warren, he got the kick out towards that far side, and they care about to keep it in. Summers is there, tried to tow it forward, but all he did in the end was just tow it out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in far side. So 18 minutes gone in this second quarter. Thanks for joining us today on Radio Eastern 98.1, and of course watching live on YouTube and Facebook.
Surrey Park just struggling to work the footy back to front, as they had so much success in the first term taking those intercept marks in defensive 50 and getting the ball forward, but
well, they're not being allowed to do that, Chris, by Templestowe, because they've really put the clamps on.
that's exactly right. And a lot of the time the Panthers defenders are actually running towards their own goals, which is not at all the direction they'd want to be going. As of another ball up, and there's a free kick being awarded here that's going to favour Templestowe, so they have a chance to get forward and get on the scoreboard again, as they've kicked 3 unanswered goals so far in this term. As I look to the far side wing, leading up and through the hands of Ferrazis. And we'll have a boundary thrown in true centre wing on that far side as Blake Tennant gets his hands on the footy. From
one disposal.
From what we heard in pre-game, we might be seeing a bit more of that next week, but we'll go quickly around the grounds with Paul Tony.
Div 4, Bulleen Templestowe 6-2-38 to Forest Hill 2-2-14, Kilside 4-5-29 to Whitehorse 4-2-26, and Warrandyte 2-8-20 to Croydon North Hemlock 1-3-9.
So Templestowe go inside 50, but it's a good mark going back there and taking a good intercept with Sardis is really important too. His kick is a bit dusty though across the face. Haynes, he's in all sorts of trouble. He's lost the ball. Didn't really do him a lot of good there, Sardis, as it was a pretty ordinary kick, and Haynes did his best, and in the end he's forced to stop it, so it's probably the best result.
Well, he put him under pressure, Besto. He just put his mate under pressure there, and Templestowe just capitalised.
So out of the ruck taken there by Brown, ball on the ground, but it's going to be Surrey Park who try and get their hands. Nice little ball out there into the hands of Perry, and they get it out this near side. That might be out of the full. It dropped by the...
Dropped a clanger.
He did too.
I don't mind that.
I mean, the ball's big enough to knock him out.
But they're looking to switch the play every time they can. Use the...
Not that we're wishing any harm on the young bloke, but,
We'll have footy in the hands of the right Docker now, as they're just in front of us on this broadcast side wing. 20 gone, so into time on here in this second term. As it's just who the footy leading with the fist was Haynes, who couldn't quite affect the contest at all. Carnes around it. His kick was smothered. There was a high tackle there, but too many bodies in the way of the umpire to see. So
he's just on the wrong side of it.
Can't really blame them. They've been done well today, but about 15 bodies in their field of view as Woodfall taps it out. It was great hit out to advantage, and the kicks just stayed in bounds before going over the boundary line. So luckily there's people on this side of the fence, so we'll get the footy in shortly, but I have a ball throwing just in front of us here on the broadcast side.
The dog almost got a touch. He said to throw it back in, so it's 19 playing 11. We've had 21 minutes gone. There's the head out one there by Giovannini. Ball on the ground, and guess what? We're going to have another stoppage.
Been good, Giovannini.
Yep. Had plenty of it.
Yep.
So umpire to throw it up again. Up she goes. The Rucks go at it this time, one out of the middle. Good work there by Woodfall. He's played it right as well. Now they've got a bit of open air out here, Surrey Park. On this near side, they go down the line, but there's a downfield free kick. I didn't see what happened because I was following the flight of the ball, but it's going to be is it a downfield free kick? Yes, it is. Yep. So it's going to be Mahon. Mahon decides to go into the pocket. I don't know if it's the wisest move, but nonetheless, mark taken there by Summers. He's too far out to score, especially in these conditions, but if you can hit someone inside 50, there's the kick. Up they fly, and ball bouncing around. Taken over there, or actually running past it. There's Smith. He couldn't get his hands on it. He tried, but he dropped the ball. Now it's in the hands over there of Lee, who gets it out. But it's going to probably go straight into the hands of... Yes, it is. Good mark taken by Mahon. I was waiting for him to drop it, but he did really well.
He stood for a target.
So he's too far out to score. Smith's in the pocket. He just goes into sort of that middle part of the little handball out. Back it comes. A little chip out there by Hendon, and the mark is taken. So this will be an opportunity for Surrey Park.
Well, when you're leading up towards the ball in that scenario, it's a lot better. I just thought Smith probably didn't make the right decision going wide.
So it's going to be number 18 in Summers. They made hard work of that, but it is, in fairness, it is difficult conditions. So you take what you can. Lockie Summers looking for his first of the day. And looking to get Surrey Park back within a kick. Let's see how he goes. Heavy ball, and he doesn't make the greatest of contacts, and he's missed everything, I think. It's right across the face.
Behind.
In fact, it's gone through for a bite. It did sneak in, so one more to the total. Margin is 7, 19 plays 12, and we've had 23 minutes gone in the second term.
It's right, obviously 1 goal 6, but their set shots have been low percentage shots.
That's right.
From 45 out and on a bit of an angle.
Just got to really hit up the targets. They're being squeezed by the Templestowe defence, which is really good play.
Well, on that point, each side has had 3 scoring shots here in the second quarter, and it's Templestowe by 7 at the moment, and we've had 3 majors. So it will be Hodge on the far side wing. We're looking for a target in Harrow well, but footy's found its way over the boundary line. So
been good, Hodge.
Yep.
He's really competed.
Yeah, had to stand up, obviously, with no Mitchener in the side today.
And that's what he's got to do against Woodford, because he's an experienced quality player.
So ball's been thrown in. It was the Dockers winning the tap, but it will be Mann doing the roving, and we'll look inside to his big man in Woodfull, who goes backwards to Callum Garvin, who just looks forward, tries to take territory, flying at it with Smith, couldn't quite get nearer. Connor Ryan's around the footy again, and it's off the hands of McClellan now. Matt McClellan, that is for Templestowe, as they're looking to use the corridor and soccer it forward. Who wants it more now? 1v3 in the favour of Surrey Park. Sides applying a bump, more than happy to get it over the boundary line, and oh, we've got a deliberate call. After how long we have finally got a deliberate call for Netball League. It was
we've had a couple.
On the letter of the law, it probably was there, but in the conditions, you can.
I don't know.
I couldn't believe I saw us go around the grounds with Paul Coney.
Just a score from Div 2. Waverley Blues lead 5-2-32 over Ringwood 4-2-26.
If ever you were going to let one go today, would be the day. Fancy playing it today, but nonetheless, Mark intercept, Mark taken there, nicely done by King.
Sometimes your best friend is not always the boundary.
It was simply because it was off the back of a long soccer kick in the first place, I reckon.
So King goes long, and getting the front spot there was Ryan, but he couldn't take it, and it's seen over the boundary. Still, we get such a shock when they're paid, because they're just they're so rare, aren't they? They've got to put out of bounds. I think we had one a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Well, it's the intent, isn't it? It's, as we know now, the insufficient intent part of the rule. It's not the deliberate so much.
That's right. Yeah. We still call it deliberate, but yeah, insufficient intent.
He didn't have the intent to keep it in.
That's right. So umpire to, in fact, he's played a free kick by the looks, and it's going to go the way of Templestowe.
So Woodfull's on the mark. And I believe that's Ryan Giovanini, who will just, pointed long, kicked short, and kicked it straight into the hands of Garvin for Surrey Park, who looks for Smith. He almost took the mark over the shoulder. It's been paid.
He's paid it.
Did brilliantly to even get hands to it, to be fair to him. But Tom Smith will play on the right foot from about 50. Our kick is long, kick is true, kick is brilliant, if you don't mind. And Surrey Park finally get their first major of this second term as we cross in to 26 minutes played, and that is absolutely brilliant from Tom Smith. We know he has moments of excellence in him, and that's just one of many to add to the catalogue.
Yeah, that could be the Tobin Brothers goal of the day leader. Very quick off the mark, obviously to play on, and just loading up from outside the arc spot. It's a fantastic finish.
But the damage was done due to Giovanini's choice there. And then on the slingshot, coming back through the ground, Surrey Park able to get their ball movement going and rebound and get that goal.
So Tom Smith starting to come into the game. He's a bit quiet in the first quarter, but he's starting to do some good things, and that was a terrific goal, especially in these conditions, as Templestowe get the ball forward. Well, they did have it forward, but now they lose it. Handball over the top. Little handball off. Nicely done there by Kazakis, who gets it forward. No, not Kazakis, sorry. It was the Surrey players. Ball back inside 50, wrapped up over there. And a good strong tackle. The umpire says we'll ball it up. So we've had 27 minutes gone in this quarter, so probably a lot of time to go.
They'll be frustrated with that, Templestowe conceding that goal.
So just the 1 point in this game. It's Templestowe by 19-18. You feel they've had the better of the game, but sorry, just pinching that last goal has got them right back in it. Another stoppage over there on the far side.
It's their only misstep probably for about 10 minutes. Just that poor choice of kick.
So just waiting for the umpire to get it back into play. Nicely one out of there by Big Haj on the ruck. It's back out of bounds again. Spectators over there on the far side trying to get hands on the footy. So nothing much happening. Chris, get us going.
So Surrey Park only with double the amount of scoring shots as Templestowe. They find themselves 1 point behind, but the ball's up there, right, their end of Surrey Park Reserve, and they have a chance to take the lead or tie it here. There's a lot of ball up just outside their forward 50 as Aman was falling on the footy. And it will go again. So this time it's going to be Telford doing the rucking for the Panthers as the rucks more or less cancel each other out, and the umpire will call for another ball up. So
and can't afford to concede here again, Templestowe.
That's exactly right. They just don't want to give up a score as Michael Fogarty's right, but he just sends the ball a lot higher than it did far, and underneath it is Bird, who had a great start to this game. He's been a bit quieter recently, and he's wrapped up in the tackle by Quinton Parry. Parry's work rate displays brilliant effort and gets reward for that as well. In the best 3 times in 5 games so far this season as Bird's wrapped up by Parry again in the tackle. So the clock will keep ticking, and that will favour Templestowe at the moment. As Hendon's around the footy, Mann will pick it up, get a handball out wide, but Hendon's tackle was deemed illegal. So a free kick going the way of Josh Warren, who himself is 3 times in best throughout this season to go along with 6 goals as his kick finds the arms of Michael Fogarty, who went to kick, thought about it again, now sends one. It won't quite reach the 50. Chris Sardis more or less had an uncontested mark there, but didn't actually know about it, and just sent his knuckles into the footy and just sends it down that very, very big hill on the other side of Surrey Park Reserve here. So I'm going to pass it to you, Besto, but we've got the footy back now, which is a lot quicker than we have recently.
Jeez. So
someone's throwing a trampoline down there.
So just near the interchange bench as the umpire throws it in, one there by Giovanni of the Ryan variety. Taking the ground, going to come out of there, and the umpire balls it up, or ball it up in due course. So nearly 30 minutes played in this term. We've had a few more goals, but not a heck of a lot, but still it's a long quarter. Back into the stoppage again, and we'll have a free kick, I think. Might have been a high tackle on the stoppage.
He's holding.
He's holding, so little short kick finds a target too. Nicely done. So it's Barnes looking around for someone to kick to. If Templestowe could pinch a late one here, that'd be huge for them as they go inside 50. And there is the siren, and the mark not taken. It was taken, but it was taken by Peters, who was back to save the day. And we reach half-time out here at Surrey Park. A low-scoring game in wet conditions, but anyone's contest on the half-time score out here. It's 3-1-19 to 2-6-18. Chris, tell us about the goal kickers.
Yeah, so we have single goal kickers across the board for Surrey Park. It's Hayden Telford and Tom Smith with 1 each for Templestowe. It's Andrew Fasanella, Dion Mustafa and Yanni Kazakis.
So we'll be back in about 15 or 20 minutes to call the second half for you, but after the break...
that's a bit long, maybe 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes, all right.
we will have Blake Tennant and Jared Beanland coming in from the boundary to run the halftime show as well.
I was going to say, but before that, we will have the halftime show. All right, back soon.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Do you want to study at the #1 sports science school worldwide? Study sport at Deakin and benefit from the most advanced sports facilities available, from running tracks to biomechanics labs, and decked out gyms to a climate chamber. Deakin have what you need to graduate ahead of the pack. Discover endless opportunities in sports science by visiting deakin.edu.au/sport. Deakin, proud sponsors of the EFNL.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Surrey Park here today for the Eastland match of the round. Played out here between Surrey Park and Templestowe. It's Templestowe leading 3-1-19 to Surrey Park 2-6-18. I'm Blake Tennant and joined by my fellow boundary reporter Jared Beeland. And Jared, it's been a scrappy sort of a game and quite, I don't like using this word, but boring sort of thing. Just to see how it's been going. A lot of obviously the wet weather conditions as well. But it's still a great contest, of course. But it's just the way it's been going. It's just been a little bit, down a little bit.
It's been an arm wrestle, hasn't it? And of course that does come down to the wet weather. But I also think it comes down to the fact that Templestowe, Spider Lead did mention they put the clamps on in that second quarter. Surrey Park have been at their best when they've got that a good balance around their stoppages. They've got their first, second, and third layers. The third always sort of like being your Glare or your Coach Kenworthy as well. Templestowe, they were able to put a bit more time, I think, into just not bullying necessarily, but like putting body on the Surrey Park midfielders, and I think that really stemmed the Panthers' flow. They were able to get going when they were able to switch the ball, and their inside 50s have definitely been better than that of Templestowe as well.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of quality.
And a player that's been pretty quiet by his standards as well, Tom Smith, kicked that goal at the end there pretty much. That probably needs to get going. I don't know why he's a forward at this stage. Maybe put him down in the midfield. We've seen how good Todd Smith is. He's a dual best on ground performer, of course, and he's won a best league, best and fairest. So he's another one. We might read out some scores just quickly. We've got Ryan Long joining us on the halftime show.
Yeah, just to join you boys.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read out some scores as well to help you?
Oh, if you've got them, go through them.
Oh, I thought that's...
I've got them in front if you want. Doncaster East Mitcham at Surrey's Reserve. The Tigers leading by 2 points, 5-3-33 to 5-1-31. East Ringwood 21-point winners, leaders over Noble Park, 39-18. Balwyn South Croydon, margin being cut back to 7 points, 6-6-42 to 5-5-35. Roval leading Blackburn 3-3-21 to 2-3-15. And Berwick 3-6-24 leading Vermont 2-6-18.
Yes.
Good opportunity.
Yes, it is.
You've got Division 1, Blake?
I do have Division 1. Beaconsfield 4-1-25 to Mooroolbark 2-5-17. So close game down there at the Hyde. South Belgrave leading Boronia 5-6-36 to Boronia 5-2-32. Down at Montrose Recreation Reserve, this is good viewing. Montrose 9-8-62 to Norwood 4-2-26. So big
Not
winners
the
there. Yes, and Park Orchards leading North Ringwood as we kind of expected heading into this game. 7-8-50 to North Ringwood 21. Ryan, have you got Division 2?
I have got Division 2 in front of me. East Burwood leading Lilydale 2-6-18 to 1-2-8. That's a low scoring scrap out there at the LSO. Mulgrave Croydon. Mulgrave were big leaders at quarter time, but margin cut back to 4 points, 6-1-37. The Lions still leading the home side, Croydon 4-9-33. Waverley Blues Ringwood, close game out there at Central Reserve. Waverley 5-4-34 playing Ringwood 5-3-33. and Heathmont and Wantirna South. Interesting game at HG Park Reserve. 5-4-34 the Jets, trailing the Devils 5-7-37. Have you kept your eye on that one, Jared?
Yeah, I have a little bit. It's an interesting one. You'd hope for Heathmont to put it together at some point soon, and taking Wantirna South away would be probably a best-case scenario. And
I've got third division scores as we speak. Knox lead Fair Park 6-6-42 to Fair Park 3-3-21. Upper Ferntree Gully. Now this is a big one. I think a few of us went Oakley District on this one, but Upper Gully 8-4-52 to Oakley District 5-3-33. Scores be comfortable winners at this stage. They lead Coltrane 9-4-58 to Coltrane 5-1-31. And then this is a close one. This is not what I expected on my bingo card, but Donvale 7-5-47 to Sylvan 6-7-43. And the Gully looked pretty comfortable over the Basin, 7-5-47. So the Basin, 1-2-8.
And in Division 4, the Bull Ants marching towards their second win at the moment, 8-2-50, leading Forest Hill 2-4-16. Out at Pinks Reserve, it's Kilsyth with a slender 10-point lead, 5-6-36 to 4-2-26. The Pioneers doing nicely there, the Cougars. And out at Warrandyte Recreation Reserve, Warrandyte 2-9-21, leading Croydon North Emlock 1-3-9.
Yeah, and that will do it. That will wrap us up. Quick tips, boys, before we head off.
I'll stick with Templestowe, but I think either way it could be a 50-50 game.
Yeah, I'm going with Templestowe as well still. Just the wet weather footy. I think that'll do them good.
Yeah, and I'm going to go Templestowe as well. All right, that is the halftime show down here at Surrey Park Reserve. It's the Dockers, Templestowe 3-1-19 to Surrey Park 2-6-18. We'll be back with the call train straight after this.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair. Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobin.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet. Pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Eastland match of the round out at Surrey Park Reserve, half time. It's the Panthers leading 2-6-18, or trailing to the Dockers 3-1-19. 1 point in it out here in the Division 2, top of the table clash. And looking forward to this second half. We've got Brett Best and Chris Cordes calling all the action. Matt Spider-Lee alongside myself, Ryan Long, in the special comments chairs. Paul Uconi around the grounds this afternoon. And down on the boundary today, Blake Tennant and Jared Beanland. But intriguing first half, not the prettiest of games, Brett, and it's been one of those
you could say that again,
weather-affected games, which was always going to happen. And reading out some of those scores around the grounds, it looks like there's some games that are in similar types of situations. But it's up for grabs for either side here. Whoever can control the territory and make some ground, they can certainly go a long way to winning this game.
Yeah, 100%. Like, goals are going to be at a premium. What have we had? 2-5 for the whole game. So, 8 or 9 goals probably wins it from here. So,
yeah, and it's the method, isn't it, Besto? If you go in with your method, the best method, and like Templestowe did in that second term, and they scored efficiently. Then that's going to give them every chance to win the game. Surrey Park a couple of times going wide, got caught out, and that's why they're having shots from pockets at the moment, making things a little bit difficult. But when they did go direct, they got rewarded from the slingshot on the turnover and were able to kick a goal.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because often the spare man is in the pocket, but today, if it was dry, you'd be happy to go in pointless because you just can't get the distance from there.
No, they've got to be a little bit smarter with their choices inside 50, and a lot of this, you look at the big bodies that Templestowe do have, Spider. You think that potentially as the rain continues to come in this second half, that might be a big factor for them. But
it's just playing into their hands at the moment. Yeah, just playing in their hands. They're just able to get repeat stoppages. They're also able to get that territory going on. But they're putting the clamps on and not allowing Surrey Park to get that ball movement going with their speed. And not allowing them to get that slingshot, and get that transition game going, especially with their offense.
One player to watch for Surrey Park, I think, in the second half. He's going to the midfield again in Jack Mann, and he's been influential in the first half, and he is your bigger body for the Panthers, and I think someone who's going to have a massive impact as this game continues.
Yeah, well, if he's getting his hands on the ball and giving him that option, he gives them every chance to get the ball forward and then score. So he creates those opportunities. He's such a class player when he does have the ball in hand.
So it's Woodfall against Giovannini in the ruck as we get this second half underway here in our Eastland match of the round. Woodfall got handball out, smothered immediately though, and wrapped up in a tackle now as Jake Van der Plyt. Footy spill loose as Giovannini around the footy again. There's Bird, gets set out wide to Cooper, who just sends it inside forward 50. Great intercept mark taken there by Chris Sardis early on. So it's Daniel Cooper looking to maybe play around the footy a bit more so far, as we've seen in this second half.
Handy to have Carl G and Vanini resting forward for a bit and giving Cooper a run through the midfield too.
Van der Plyt went back with the flight of the ball. Kenworthy now gives it off to Jake Van der Plyt again. He's dropped the footy and will get pinned for doing so. So Fasanella will throw it back to Triculia. And he's just assessing his options forward of the footy. So it's a 1 point margin. Anyone's game at the moment at Surrey Park Reserve as footy goes deep inside 50. It's off hands. As we'll have a boundary throw in.
He does have a big tank, Cooper, and he's very athletic, so he can cover the ground.
So it's boundary throw in about 30 metres out from the Templestowe uprights. As the ball has come in now, it's throwing. He's got out the back and hit the deck. It's Fasanella against Hendon. Hendon never really took possession of the footy. Trying to pick it up was Harrowell. It's been brought out now through hands and pumped forward by Tom Smith, who's looking to get the footy forward and just found its way over the boundary line. So we'll have a boundary throw in on the far side centre wing, just in front of the dugouts.
In many ways, I feel quite sorry for the umpires on a day like this because you have to almost have to umpire the game differently, don't you?
Well, that's exactly right, Bess. So you've got to be really switched on and assertive.
But I mean in terms of sort of just being a little bit lenient because some of the things with the conditions.
Well, you just got to understand what the conditions are being presented.
So umpire to throw it in, getting the front spot there nicely was Woodfall. It's been good on the ruck, knocks it there.
Look at this selfish actor on the boundary here, Blake Tennant. There's two boundary riders, and
he's hogging the umbrella.
Let Jared down the rain.
Now he comes.
I actually gave them 2 umbrellas. I don't know where the second one is.
Well, maybe that's Jared's fault.
Having some all about.
Oh, there he goes. He's holding it up.
Sorry, Blake. That's Jared's fault.
There's lightning coming in on the radar. Don't call that umbrella up.
So Hendon, he gets a ball out. Surrey Park will get it forward as it's up in the air towards the the boundary. Getting underneath it there was Cooper, who got smashed as the ball's for a free kick here. And he has.
I was happily waiting for him, Ryan. So
sorry, Blake.
There was another umbrella.
That's fair. That's fair.
So Cooper is on that far side. He's a player that can certainly come into the game with that Premier Division experience. Finds a target over there on the far side. You can see how wet the jumpers are.
Just smart footy there, Besto.
Yep, so down the line it goes again. As trying to pick it up over there is one of the Surrey Park players. Is that Hendon, I think, or Marn it might be. And the umpire says, give it to me, we'll throw it up.
So we'll have another ball up just on the forward 50 arc, favouring Templestowe's side of the ground as Birds around the footy. Was hit, couldn't quite pick it up cleanly. Around it to his Van der Plyte again. We've caught out quite a few times, but now the shot on goal, running on the right foot is high. Does it have the distance? Not quite, but I don't think it was touched on the line. There's been a holding free kick that will perhaps bail out Surrey Park, so they did well to get bodies around the footy there, but no score for Templestowe on that occasion, as Surrey Park will look to clear the lines and will look to do so using the corridor. Harge came over the top, managed to get a sprawl in on Hendon. Around it now is Triculio, who was pressured by Smith. Smith around the footy for Surrey Park, playing a tackle, couldn't quite get there. Ryan was pressured as well. It's come out through Matt McClellan, who just sends it forward. Looking to take a one-handed grab was Michael Fogarty, but not in these conditions, as Nicholas Bird is chasing down the footy, and that will find its way over the boundary line. So a few magnets being moved around early on in this second half.
So Bird, last man to be spotted over there. He's had a good game, Bird. I've liked his game today. Yeah. As the umpire throws it on again, Giovannini, he's also had a good game. Might have got the tap down there. It's back towards the boundary, but nicely controlled there. A little chip inside. That's good play. Taken there by McClellan. Matt says, let's get it forward. He thumps it into the inside 50. Chasing back there was Fasanella. Couldn't get hands on it, but it's still there to be won. Picked up over there, and they'll get out of the Surrey Park. Nice little kick to him. That's good composure. Taken there by Lachlan Peters to bring it out.
They bring it out now, looking to the broadcast side wing. It was dropped temporarily by Daniel Barnes, looking to take an intercept, and McClellan's got the footy again. He's had a good start to this half. So he finds the waiting hands of number 16, and Alex Brandon will assess his options, and Brown looks for a lead up. Kenworthy was hit off the ball perhaps, and the umpire agrees. So a free kick going to the player / head coach in James Kenworthy. We'll just slow play down a bit.
He's got to have someone move for him.
Yeah, there's not a lot of movement, just a lot of pointing towards his broadcast side wing, but Kenworthy will look to chip it. He was looking for Garvin, who got hit under the footy, and now they're looking to come through the middle, utilise the corridor. It's 2v1 in favour of the Dockers, though. More bodies come around the footy now. One of them was Tricula, who has a good start to the half, and there's Mann that looks to bring it out. Bird lost his footy, couldn't quite take it. Is Quinton Parry. The footy just won't quite sit up for him. Bird does well to do the body work. He now has plays in supporters. One of them was Giovannini. He didn't give it to him though, and he got pinned holding the ball. So now it's Chris Sardis. He's got the footy on the far side centre wing, and we'll just chip it up to... He was looking for Mann. He just left a lot to be desired on the kick, and ball's found its way out. Far side, true centre wing for a ball up.
Yeah, Jack Mann didn't do him too many favours there with that kick. It was a bit of a hospital kick, but we'll have a throw it on the far side. So thanks for joining us. Radio Eastern 98.1 and Facebook and YouTube this afternoon. 6 minutes gone in the third term, and it's 19 playing 18, low-scoring game in the wet out here at Surrey Park, and it's a free kick going the way of Surrey Park. Mann sends it down the line, should be taken over there, and it is too by Hart. Quite prominent early, Hart, but he's sort of gone out of the game a wee bit, but it happens on wet days like this. So Hart decides to go inboard, and Mann juggles with it. Gets it on the second attempt. He's been good too. Hoisted inside 50 now. Can they get a mark up? They fly. Almost a mark by Smith, but he was at the back spot, so not the ideal position as Tricula got thrown away. Ball on the ground, trying to pick it up over there was Harrowell, but he didn't get there first. In the end, it was picked up over there by Peters. Peters goes down the line, and a good mark taken over there. This is good play. Hart with the opportunity to send it inside 50. This will be the money kick, but it's not a great one, and it's been cut off over there by our man in number 33, Bird, and he will bring it out for the Dockers.
He just pulled the kick, and it's really Nicholas Bird taking an uncontested intercept mark as Khan was on around the footy applying pressure and just got the spoil over the boundary line. So denying Carl Giovannini the chance to rule away on the right boot. So we'll have a boundary throw in just in front of us. As we've got numbers around the footy now, Rucks will go at it. It's Wood fully gets the tip. Didn't quite know where it went. Looking to pick it up with one hand off the ground was Lachlan Bacon, the skipper for the Panthers. Rounded in Matt Mariani, just kind of dropped on the footy. Never really took possession of it. Umpire says play on, the ball's come out now. Sent forward by Samuel Harden. It's a 4v4 inside the forward 50 of the Panthers. Looking to just usher it over the boundary line, and they'll do just that. So we'll have a boundary throw in, some 25 metres out from the Surrey Park goal. Still no change to the scoreboard in this third term. As the ball is thrown in, doing the ruck work was Telford. He got the second chance to tap it out. Now looking to bring it out to Jackson Harding. He's kicking the corridor, hits the deck. Still a lot of work to be done. It's coming out through Daniel Cooper. He's been moved around the footy after not having as much of an impact as they like. Carnes applying pressure now with the footy in hand. Is Andrew Fasanelli, who wheels around on the right boot. Gets it to a target in Alex Brown, who will go quickly. They'll handball it backwards just to go forwards again. And it's Fasanella's shot on goal. It's come off. It was still on the line. Still to be one. Socket there. Somehow smothered by King's body. I don't think he knew anything about it. There's a collision off the ball. Templestowe on deliberate. The call is a throw in, and we need some attention to two Surrey Park players just collided with each other, but also collided with the ball. So they saved the goal, but at what cost?
Sorry, boys. You got me there. Just the Templestowe huddle over there. All the coaches were a bit annoyed there that wasn't called deliberate, because we all saw what happened last quarter. So Templestowe very filthy after that.
Just quickly, some Prem scores. 7-1-43 to Mitcham, 6-4-40. East Ringwood, 7-5-47 to Noble Park, 2-6-18. Baldwin, 7-7-49 to South Croydon, 5-5-35. Rowville, 5-4-34 to Blackburn, 3-5-23. And Berwick, 3-6-24 to Vermont, 2-8-20.
So Surrey Park get it on the stoppage over there on the far side of the ground, and that's a good tackle. But in fact, no, it's not a good tackle. He's paid high, I think. It looked all right, but he's paid the high tackle. That might be a bit stiff, I think. But they'll take it, the Dockers.
Chance for the re-entry.
So it's going to be G. Vanini. It'll be Carl. Along the back. There's difficult conditions out here. Normally on a day like a nice day, you'd say he's a good chance, but with the wet ball and the slippery conditions, anything could happen. Throws up the grass as if that matters today.
Thinks he's Matty Lloyd.
So G. Vanini, absolutely soaked, covered in mud. There's the kick, and he's got it, I think. Yes, he has. That was well struck. He sort of just poked at it, but it went through. So Carl gets his first of the day, and a much better goal for the Dockers. And it gives them a little bit of breathing space. 4-1-25 to 2-6-18 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We're at the halfway point of this third term.
We'll go to the score centre real quickly with Paul Coney.
In Div 1, Beaconsfield lead 5-2-32 to Mooroolbark, 3-6-24. South Belgrave 5-6-36 to Boronia, 5-2-32. Montrose 10-10-70 to Norwood, 4-4-28, and Park Orchard 7-8-50 to North Ringwood, 4-3-27.
And when Timson needed to score there, they got the re-entry. So that was because of that chain of play that happened just a few moments ago.
So valuable first major of this second half goes the way of the Dockers, the visiting side here. And now second versus first match up here on the Eastland Match of the Day broadcast. Thank you to everyone tuning in on our Facebook and YouTube streams, and also on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM. So we are just past 11 minutes gone in this third term. It's what has been quite a cagey affair. Scoreboard reads Surrey Park 2-6-18, trailing Templestowe 4-1-25, a 7-point lead for the visitors, as Matt Mariani might have been legged there. Umpire says nothing doing, so Surrey Park will just hoof it down the line, and it's Mundy who gets hands into the corridor, and they've got space now leading up is Telford. The ball would drop there. It was perfectly weighted out the back is Tom Smith. He needs to go and go quickly if he wants to get it to him. Wheeling about. Smith has a bit of work to do now. Kicked in and favouring him. It's a 2v1 around is Nicholas Bird, and you will just see it over the boundary line. A chance there for Surrey Park, but couldn't quite execute.
Yeah, the kick, it was a very high one. Took a long time to get to Smith and gave the Templestowe defenders every chance. Yeah.
So we'll have a boundary throw in. 40 metres out from the Surrey Park goal. They'd need a response here. Can't let the game get away from them at all. Might do if Templestowe get the next goal, but Mariani's kick came off the shin of an opponent. Mariani putting head over the footy. Very, very brave play, but I think he's copped one in doing so. He's down on his back. It's now 3v3 out the back. And Templestowe will see it over the line. I think we need a bit of attention for Matt Mariani. He probably caught one there.
But that's the way he plays. He's just so brave. Yep. He just goes head first all the time.
That'll probably rule him out for the rest of today, I can imagine.
Yeah, it looks like a head clash.
Yeah, it would have to be serious to see him go off because, as you guys say, he's as tough as nails as Matt. This will be a big loss if he has to go off.
Put his head right over the ball. I think clashed heads with
might have
his
been
opponent.
For the game we were at last year. Exactly the same.
Yeah, FNL legend.
So we're cursed, like?
Oh, like I said, he's an in and under. He's a little bull terrier.
Let's quickly go to Paul in the score centre.
In Div 2, East Burwood 4-6-30 to Lilydale 2-4-16. Croydon 7-10-52 to Mulgrave 6-2-38. Waverley Blues 6-4-40 to Ringwood 5-3-33 and Wanty South 7-10-52 to Heathmont 5-4-34.
So looking a little promising for Surrey Park, but they have turned it over as they try to go inside 50. And the mark is taken over there by Fasanella.
It's been good, Fasanella, this quarter.
He has. So Fasanella looks around, just looking to find a teammate. There's not too much to kick to at the moment, though. He's probably going to have to go into that pocket, which we spoke about. No, he decides to go to the hot spot. That's the right move in these conditions. As he gets it up high, they fly. Oh, good mark coming over the top there and taking it was Woodfall, the big ruckman, and saves the day for Surrey Park. And we'll be able to bring it out.
So Surrey Park with a chance now. Looking to go from defence to offence as they just pump a long kick down to the broadcast side wing as Park's forming under it, looking to bring it out was Telford, just about got the hands off to Marn, and Marn sends it forward. It's 1v1 now. Who wants some more? The bounce the favour of Surrey Park, and there's Sam Hart putting a step one way, putting the shot on goal, and in any other conditions he would have been back, but the water on the turf just meant it stayed true. And what would have been a terrific dribble kick to set up a goal there from Samuel Hart just found its way to the right upright.
Could have been another Tobin Brothers goal today for him, and he's got quite a few over the years.
And that kick was intercepted by Marn. Giovanini stepped a long way over the mark. Very lucky not to give away 50.
25.
Oh, 25 I should say. My apologies. Thank you for that spider. As Jack Marn now with a kick from the man on the mark is 50 metres out. We'll be kicking from no angle, but
heavy ball.
Yeah, you can assume it's a bit of a waterlogged ball. So
surely there's a player at the front of the top of the square.
Yeah, Templestowe need to make sure that they kill it. He will take Jack Marn's best, but if there's someone that you want taking this kick, it's probably Marn as he walks in slowly. This is to level this game up. As it's Marn on the right boot from about 55 out. Kick will fall short. Contest around the top of the square. Flying for it was Telford, and the ball just find its way out of bounds for a boundary throwing.
Yeah, as good as he is, Jack Marn, even a player of his calibre was never going to be able to kick that. He gave it a good go, though, but just falling short and out to the right. So the umpire to throw it in. You can see the scoreboard in the background if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, but it's low-scoring 25-19 in the third quarter in favour of the Templestowe Dockers as they win the ball out of the ruck. Knock forward, but it's in the hands now of number 7 in Fasanella, I think it is. Now they get it forward. Trying to pick it up, there was Summers, but he got taken in the tackle. It's the Dockers back in position again. Good play, little kick forward, and the mark is taken. So here they come again, the Dockers. That's a good kick over the top. Fasanella, he's out on his own here. He's got absolutely no one within killing of him, and he gets a return ball. Breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, gives it off. Here's an opportunity. This will be a fantastic goal, Mustafa. And he's missed.
Well, they were lucky not to give away the free kick to Templestowe. Mustafa had the jumper of Cairn, but still in a good...
Bear Park 5-3-33. Upper Gully 9-8-62 to Oakley District 6-3-39. Scores be 11-5-71.
Up for the footy, big swing at a punch was number 24 in Lachlan Peters for the Panthers, but couldn't quite make contact with the ball. It's out for another boundary throw-in. So a chance now, Templestowe, although they're not hitting the target, just keep the ball in there forward 50.
Yeah, it's living there at the moment.
And it's again danger for Surrey Park, who need a repel here as Woodfall win the ruck contest. He's been brilliant today. Looking to bring it out. Sock it off the ground now and sock it straight through. He's a Templestowe player. Couldn't quite see who it is, but...
Alex Brown.
Alex Brown, number 16, just reading the conditions, reading the drop of the ball better than anyone else around him. And gets Templestowe's second of the quarter. So, again, Templestowe jumps Surrey Park out of the blocks in this term. It's Surrey Park only one behind for the quarter. That takes Templestowe's second scoring shot, I should say, is 2 goals for the tally. So we'll go in the score centre with Paulie Coney.
In Div 4, Bulleen Templestowe 9-2-56 to Forest Hill 2-4-16. Kilsyth 9-8-62 to Whitehorse 6-2-38, and Warrandyte 3-11-29 to Croydon North Hemlock 3-5-23.
So here they come again at Templestowe. The game is in danger of getting away. Warren's taken on the ground. If they get the next one and a low-scoring game and suddenly they go 3 goals clear, they're going to be hard to stop.
They are, and it's the ability to score at forward stoppage. It's getting this job done at the moment.
So bashed forward into the middle of the ground. And back there trying to pick it up was one of the Templestowe players. Can't quite catch his number there. In fact, it's number 58 in Theresa's. That's on the ground again. Trying to wrap it up there was Bacon. And they'll get a stoppage. Just in the middle of the ground, so we've got almost 19 minutes gone in this third term.
Just better around stoppage Ryan at the moment, Templestowe.
Yeah.
They've got their numbers around the ball and really making it hard for the Panthers.
Ball comes out from the clearance, but we'll have a secondary stoppage.
Got to get more numbers to the ball if you're a Panthers player.
Up it goes again, up they fly. Might have been won there by Giovanni coming over the top. It was a whistle from the umpire. What's he going to pay here? Free kick. It's a free kick, so it's going the way of Surrey. In fact, yes, it is at Surrey Park. And it'll be Kane Hendon to bounce.
Sorry, Besso, that should have been 25. He just threw that ball to Templestowe player there. Should have been 25.
Yeah, it didn't get to the player that needed it, so good shout there, Blake. Probably lucky not to give away more of a penalty, but it's Khan here. He throws it on the right boot, takes a lot of distance with the kick. It will drop just outside 50. Hard flew, couldn't quite take it. Looking to break through a tackle as a Templestowe player as we go around the grounds too with Paulie Coney.
Two sides who are still looking for their first win in Premier this year. Mitcham lead against Donny East. Mitcham 7-7-49 at Donny East, 7-1-43, and Berwick 3-8-26 to Vermont 2-9-21.
Doncaster East not won a game.
No, Mitcham.
Mitcham, yeah, of course.
So speaking to Doncaster East, big shout out to our mate Ben Warren-Smith, and no doubt he'll be watching the stream across in Hobart.
As the kick out of the pack is from Josh Warren in the long sleeves. It will bounce out the back. A lot of work for Surrey Park to do to get this ball clear. Losing out in the contest was Lachlan Peters. They're now soccer it off the ground through Harrowell. Just getting it forward at the moment. Templestowe by any means necessary was off hands. Marnes around the footy. Still no real winner of the ball as it's sent forward now and into the hands of Nicholas Bird. He dropped it, had it, didn't quite have it. Looking to bring it out now again to the Panthers. They can't quite clear their lines at the moment. Just looking to bring it back in. The ball's dropped out through the tackle. Bird applying pressure, just sitting on his opponent, and we will have a ball up.
You mentioned VWS. He'll be a very happy man because his New York Knicks had a big win today, so he'll be...
I said no Knicks references on the broadcast.
American sport, who cares?
Got to give him one perhaps as kick comes off the shoulder of Nicholas Bird, who wasn't quite expecting it. Gee, Dion Mustafa ran into a brick wall and looks like he ran into a brick wall at the moment. He's down on his back. We hope he's all right, but the footy will come out through Jackson Lee for the Dockers, looking to get it forward to Nicholas Farizas, who can't quite do so, and a lot of pressure around the footy now. Connor Ryan is one of those for the Panthers, hunting the ball down now for Templestowe is Harding, and the ball has gone out of bounds up now and just maybe cracking his neck a bit. Is Dion Mustafa in the forward 50, so he looks all right for now.
Blake did that tactically because he knows I'm a Celtic.
Any word on Mariani down on the boundary there, boys? Did he go for an HIA?
Yeah, it looks like he's just been patched up. I don't think it was actually the concussion protocols. Okay. He's up and about at the moment, just needs to get his shirt on, and it looks like he might be back on the ground shortly.
He's always got his shirt off.
So, ball back in the towards the middle of the grounds, just bouncing around awkwardly over there. Marn just says, I'm just going to kick this off the ground. Probably the best option. Now it's in the hands there of Harold Wall. He's had plenty of the football this afternoon. Kicks it forward to a teammate who just bats it on. And here's a chance for Templestowe to come forward again. Kicks a little hot over the head of Harold Wall. He had an opportunity there. And now it's in the hands of Surrey Park, but in fact, someone's injured over there. I think is it Hendon?
Yeah.
He's gone down and he was grabbing at his as a snap at goal. Is that it? No, it's missed. It's gone through for a point.
It looked like he went through.
Yeah,
it did, didn't it? It's a behind, but I'd be more interested to see what's going on with Hendon because he went down and he was grabbing at his looked like a hammy or a calf maybe.
He's walking about now, so he's jogging.
Okay, so maybe a bit of cramp, maybe.
So the ball go out. Is of course a wet surface, can cramp up the calves quite easily. Smith's around the footy, couldn't quite take it cleanly. Has another goal, and it drops, and of a boundary throw-in. So
If you're Templestowe at the moment, you're liking the game on your terms. They have got this game where they need it at the moment.
And Mariani back on too.
Yep.
Gentlemen, there's a bit of confusion, of course, with Mariani coming back on. He needed, but there's already a 58 out there for Templestowe in Pharesis, so just look out for the double number.
Have they swapped jumpers or they've just got the double up?
No, they didn't swap. I see 258s running around right now.
Yeah, Pharesis is still out there, so thank you very much for that, Jared. That would have sent my head spinning, but the ball has been marked by Connor Ryan here. They have a chance to go forward. It's equal matchups in, looking for the lead up of Samuel Hyde, who got rid of his man in Daniel Barnes and was nowhere really near him. But as has been the theme of today, Surrey Park have a mark inside 50, but it's on a very tight angle. So a difficult kick for a right footer here is just looking to go back, maybe open up the angle a bit. He'll be kicking a drop punt, so we'll take quite some kick from about 30 metres out. A step in from the boundary line as well. It looks good, it looks good, it looks brilliant. Even the runner gets in on the celebrations there. That's how good the kick was from Samuel Hart. That is one that Surrey Park very much so needed. It's Hart's 10th of the season, first for today, and contender for the Tobin Brothers goal of the day.
It absolutely is, Spider, and from a fair way out, it's a heavy ball. I almost was about to say that this is going to fall short, and I realised who was kicking it. Great finish.
Well, that's the sort of player he is, Sam. He's been such an accomplished player for a long period of time, and when you need to do the special things, he's always been able to step up to the plate and do it.
Sorry, boys. Is there a rule that you can't have two numbers at the same?
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Normally is, but they'll end up putting the electrical tape on and turning it into 158.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, 581.
Bit confused on that.
88, maybe.
Should I go let them know?
So the ball socket out towards this far side of the near side of the ground. Sorry, in the hands of Hart, the goal kicker. Well, we just saw he gets it forward. Harrowell is pulled out of the way. Probably a good case for a free kick. Fogarty's on the ground there. And he draws the free kick, and the Surrey Park faithful are not happy. They are filthy.
He's staying down. It didn't really look that heavy.
25 metre penalty too.
So 25 metres, good opportunity to go to Paul on the score centre.
Yeah, Fair Park, who are also looking for their first win. They're hanging around against Knox. Wow. They're only down by 5 points. Knox 6-9-45 to Fair Park 6-4-40.
It is wet weather footy, the great equaliser as it's forward now and bumped while he kicked was Cooper. The ball will just bounce its way out for a boundary throw-in. So we're 25 and a half gone here. Scoreboard reads Surrey Park 3-7-25, Templestowe 5-2-32, and it's just the Dockers who are able to get the first couple of the turn in successive quarters, setting themselves up nicely for when Surrey Park to eventually buy it back. So boundary throw-in is now in play. Grabbing it was Fasanella, throws it on the right boot around the corner. You can't do that, can you? But you can if your name is Andrew Fasanella. That's his second of the day, takes him to double digits on the season, and you wouldn't think there was an inch of rain out there with a kick like that.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Considering the conditions, that is just all class. And that was a really timely goal when a bit of momentum was heading the other way.
Clubhouse leader for the Tobin Brothers goal of the day.
Guys, we've avoided the weather for the most part throughout this quarter, but it's just starting and a little bit more now. We'll see if it holds true.
Sorry. 666. No.
No blood rule, I think.
Just a quick one as well. I think maybe Templestowe are going to change the jumpers. Yeah, it looks like it. So the actual 58, Nicholas Ferasis, I think that's the name as you pronounce it, he's taking his jumper off. So it looks like he might be changing his number.
He's had the number taken off him.
That's interesting.
Is he going to play in skins?
So just give us a couple minutes, boys, and I'll sort something out shortly.
Absolute chaos at the boundary as the ball is thrown in there, diving on it was Vanderpleit.
Well, I think he's taken the 31 off Haj, which I don't know what leads
it's
Haj.
not musical chairs with jumpers, is it?
So the jumpers, the new jumpers on. I think Haj has got no jumper on at this stage.
Always happens when there's an alternative.
Anyway,
strip.
back to the footy, boys.
Back to the footy. It's Hart who gets the kick forward. That is going to be a free kick. And the crowd once again pretty unhappy about it, but it's going to be paid against Surrey Park. And he's not going to get a yellow card here, is he?
No, just explaining.
He was just waiting for the card to come out. But
it's probably there.
Free kick coming
just
the way.
A bit careless.
Yeah.
Yep. So free kick to the Dockers. We've had 27, nearly 28 minutes gone in this third term, so shouldn't be much time to go as the ball is out of bounds just in front of us in the, on this near side. So 38-25, 13-goal margin.
Just got to keep their heads here, Surrey Park. They are in the game. They just need to try and create a score.
So umpire to throw it in again. There's plenty of height on it. They wrestle for it. It's Nick Giovanni who wins another hit out. Really has played terrifically well. Hennon got just bashed off the ball there, and he stayed down as well. He's a bit sore, I think. He took a heck of a hit. It's been socked off the ground. One of the Dockers players slips over. That was Brown. Now they've got it in the hands. Back it comes. Into the hands of King. Haven't called his name too much today. Gives it back to the player coach in Kenworthy. He's wrapped up and he's going to get a free kick as well, is he?
He's given one away, has he?
He's giving a bit
Really?
of... Yeah, it's gone the way of Giovannini, so I didn't see what happened there, but it's going to the Dockers.
So it's...
I think he just dropped it.
Ryan Giovanni with the footy here. Kane Hendon's still filling out that shoulder after that bump, but it was off the fist of Sardis inside 50. Khan Munn will go backwards into the hands of Jamie Blair now, and needs to make something happen for his team. And Munn gets it forward again. Now they're looking to clear their lines, and it's Hendon around the footy. Taking a ground with Samuel Hart looking for a free kick. Not given one. And now Templestowe will look to switch, and they've got space out that far side, but they'll bring it straight back into the area that they just cleared, and Surrey Park have numbers as a result. But getting first to the footy was Traculia, who now has a target on the far side. Kick won't quite get there. Quinton Parry was there to parry the ball away, and it's ushered over the boundary line now by Callum Garvin. Appeals for a free kick, appeals for deliberate. I saw one, they're hungry for more now, but that's all she wrote for this third term. The scoreboard reads Surrey Park 3-7-25, Templestowe 6-2-38. As you look at the goal kickers, we have for Surrey Park singles 2, Samuel Hart, Tom Smith, and we have one more for Hayden Telford. Yes, that's right, and for Templestowe we have 2 for Andrew Fasanella, and singles 2, Carl Giovannini, Alex Brown, Dion Mustafa, and Yarkis.
1 quarter to play for the Eastland match of the round. The final break, the Dockers leading by 13 points at 3-quarter time. Be back for a senior coach interview with James Kenworthy, as well as all the scores around the grounds, and the final quarter of the Eastland match of the round.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo.
Team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Surrey Park Reserve, it is the Eastland match of the round, and at three-quarter time, the Dockers lead 6-2-38 to Surrey Park 3-7-25. A final quarter to come. Very much interested to see if the Panthers can bounce back in this final quarter. Had a bit of the football, had a few opportunities, but Templestowe have been the better side across the afternoon, and we are going to hear from potentially assistant coach down the boundary.
Yeah, I managed to get the big fella, Michael Paolini. Michael, club legend, of course, I should say that. Access that third quarter, a bit. Templestowe got a bit of a head in there, but how do you access that third quarter?
Yeah, look, I just felt like we overpossessed the footy a little bit, needed to get territory and get the ball forward. So we will address that and, hopefully, limit those handballs.
Yeah, James was just, listening into his three-quarter time huddle. He said, embrace the hunt. What does that sort of mean? Is that something that you're trying to do for this last quarter to finish off strongly?
Oh, it's a bit of our mantra, for 2025 is, we want to hunt the footy, hunt the player. So, point.
No worries. Enjoy the last quarter.
Blake Tennant down on the boundary with Michael Paolini. Final quarter to come. Paul, any scores around the grounds? Just a couple of the big ones before we start the final term.
Yeah, got some interesting scores here in Premier. Close one between Roval and Blackburn. Blackburn lead by 2 points, 6-6-42 to 6-4-40. Vermont back in front of Berwick, 3-9-27 to Berwick, 3-8-26. Donny East 9-1-55 to Mitcham, 7-8-50. Mitcham chasing, they're looking for their first win for the year, as is Berwick. And in Division 3, Fair Park are trailing Knox by 5 points. Knox 7-9-51 to Fair Park. Sylvan lead against Donvale 10-10-70 to Donvale 9-5-55.
Boundary.
We will go down the boundary in just a moment as the meat tray raffle is going through the speakers.
I hear what the priorities are here.
It sounds like we're at the
If
races.
you have ticket number 342451.
I don't think they've...
You'll have to excuse us because we're a little bit distracted by the speaker is Tom Smith.
It's probably a good mate.
It was green 11.
So if you've got green 11, happy days for you. As the
If anyone's playing from home.
Report to the social club if you got that winning ticket.
Yeah, but you only got 5 minutes to get here, so you better hurry up.
Then it comes to the commentary team.
I think it was Josh Ward who goes green 11.
Josh, the Raw to be on.
He's
for
reserved
sure.
that ticket.
The Raw to be on for sure.
Perennially reserved.
To the boundary, though, with Jared Beanley, because he was at the Templestowe huddle.
Thanks, gentlemen. Nick Batsanis was pretty happy with how Tempe went in that third quarter, but just wanted to get them not to kick it straight up the centre of the forward, kick it to perhaps towards the pockets where the forwards are making space. And also, they're just going in a little bit too hard in the contest in numbers. They just want a bit more balance around the contest so they have an outlet option to handball.
So taken straight out of the ruck there by number 6 in Telford. I tell you what I've noticed is a bit bit of pushing and shoving, but a snap from Smith, but he's going to miss.
Deliberate.
And it's out of bounds. It'll be a free kick.
Just a question, Jared. Did any of them, the Tempe boys, have any raffle tickets? Or
No, their minds were focused elsewhere, unfortunately.
They need a raffle for an extra jumper down there.
So it'll be a free kick to Temple. So I was just going to say...
Sorry, boys. Sorry as well. I think by the looks of it, Marcel Harge is officially ruled out of the game. He's got the jacket on right now and a bit of ice on his leg. So that's a...
So Pharesis will be taking the 31.
So that's why they stole his number.
I think so.
Yes. That's what we're going with.
Either that or he was iced up as a result of them pulling the jumper off.
So ball back into play.
As Templestowe looking to clear their lines here, will come out to the far side. In pursuit is James Kenworthy and Nicholas Khan for Surrey Park, but he's picked up by Fasanella in the Templestowe long sleeves as they look to go forward now through the hands of a teammate. It's out the back now. Looking to pick it up was George Haynes in the team of the week for his efforts last week, and he gets it wide to a 1v1. Mundy couldn't quite take a one-handed mark. They were asking a lot of him. And he lays a tackle to lock the ball in there.
Just one more, gentlemen. Matt Mariani, of course, there was a bit of confusion with the jump. Is now going to be wearing the number 43.
Oh. Thank you for
so
that,
sorry,
Joe.
who's wearing 31? I'm getting really confused.
Phoresis.
Phoresis, okay.
Docker Lotto.
I don't think anyone's wearing the 31, boys. I think same things to go. I think Phoresis, I think that's what you guys said. He'll be wearing the 58, so the 31's ruled out.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm going.
You know what?
He was talking about bingo at the start of the game.
They're all blacklisted.
You don't have to actually play it.
They're all blacklisted. I'm not calling
He wasn't on my bingo card, just letting you know.
Templestowe looked to bring the ball at us. You'd have to remember we are here to call a footy game as we go into the score centre with Paul Yaconi.
Over in Vermont, Berwick are back in front of Vermont. Could be a big upset there. They are back in front 4-8-32 Berwick to Vermont 3-10-28.
Go the Wickers.
So it's sent forward by Lachlan Bacon, the skipper, and it gets into the hands of Mundy. Woodfull's just in front of us, getting some breath back as it's sent inside forward 50, and the mark's taken by the lead in Connor Ryan. And this is a much more kickable set shot, and down 13 points. 3 kicks in it. This one needs to go through for Surrey Park.
Yeah,
That was the kick.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good hit up, good mark, and a great opportunity for the Panthers here.
So the kick from Ryan will become 30 metres out. Bit less than a 45-degree angle. It was more or less actually quite straight in front as here's Connor Ryan with a kick that his team needs to sail through the big sticks. It's on its way and it's never in doubt. We've got life in this game. Surrey Park get the first of the term. Leeds cut down to 7 points.
Well, to state the obvious, Spider, that first goal was just going to be crucial. If it went the other way, Templestowe in a low-scoring game, it would have been game over just about. So now we've got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, the game is now right on the balance and up for grabs, and this clearance is going to be really important. If the Panthers can get it and give themselves an opportunity to score, we're going to be set for a real exciting finish.
Fair Park are in front of Knox. They lead 8-4-52 to Knox 7-9-51.
Oh, nail biter there as the ball is thrown in. Giovannini got high. There's no Marcel Hage out there. That's a bit of a blow for the Dockers. Socket forward by Fogarty. Trying to pick it up over there was Mustafi. Does eventually get his hands on it. He did really well, actually. Gets the ball out. There's a centering kick. Into the... Forget about centering kick. It's gone through. Just trying to see who it was that kicked it. Alex Brown. That's his second, I think.
Yeah, he's been good today.
He has. It looked like it was going to be a centering kick, but I don't know if it was... Well, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he went for it, but let's have a look at the replay. It just drifted, and the Surrey Park players back there was George Haynes, but he could only watch it go through. And Brown gets terrific goal, another contender for the Tobin Brothers goal of the day. And that's, a great fight back by Templestowe after conceding one. It's 44-31. And we've had 5 minutes in the last term.
Just caught Surrey Park out of position too in defence.
Yeah, they did, and they just set clearance there. It just was their numbers weren't on the right side, and they got that ball forward and so easily, and were able to score.
So it's just thrown on the right boot by Mariani as it goes forward, looking for Dion Mustafa. He's still got a lot of work to do around the footy, pursued by Matthew King, and ball's dropped to the ground. We'll have a ball up. So the lead pushed back out to 13 points, as we just heard. So it hurt Surrey Park, but they need to do so. The ball will hit the deck. Martin gets the left arm around it, and we'll have yet another ball up.
Yeah, Woodfull appealing for the free kick. I think he's probably got a bit of a case, but...
So Woodfull has been massive so far today. The ball hit the ground again out of that ruck contest with him and Ryan Giovannini. And he's still going to come out through King, who applies pressure now. Good tackle around it is Kenworthy. So too is Tom Smith. If they can get it out to him, he's got hands on it now, but it's still very scrappy. No real winner of the footy just yet. And we'll have another ball up. So it's all evens inside the Surrey Park forward 50 here, if they can get it there. Or the Templestowe forward 50, I should say, as Smith gets it away from that area on the left boot and finds a lead up in Jasper Mundy, who's been very good today for Surrey Park, and he'll look forward on the left boot. Gee, it got two hands to it and elected to punch, which was a bit odd there. It was Jimmy Glare, I believe, but now the clearing kick comes from Templestowe, and it's just down the line. Woodfull's under it and can take an uncontested intercept mark. So Woodfull now, true centre wing on that far side, just hoofs it inside forward 50. It's a decent entry and gets out the back, couldn't quite take the mark. It was Douglas Wootson, and Now they're looking to repel the Dockers, and wrapped up in a big tackle by Mundy is probably a sling. Umpire agrees.
Yeah, that's just, definitely had to be paid.
And this will probably be a card as well. Will it? Yeah, it is. So it's textbook really. If you sling a player in a tackle,
that's the behaviour we need to change.
Going to end up with a bit of colour.
Yeah.
So a yellow card, which will mean that they'll finish the game with a man short.
So just for Monday, boys, that was.
Yeah, might only just get back.
Actually, he might get back. Yeah,
it's just undisciplined.
He'll be back on the 22nd minute mark, boys. By the looks of it, 15 minutes.
He's been good today as well. It's a big miss for the rest of this game if they want to mount to come back.
It's just undisciplined. You've got to be able to pin those arms.
So Jasper Mundy, some time to think about his actions as he heads off to the naughty corner. Is Templestowe to bring it forward. There's the kick down the line. It's probably going to get spoiled out of bounds, but it stays in, believe it or not, over there. Diving on it there was Warren. The umpire comes in and says, we'll ball it up. Let's get some more scores from
the lights are on
Donvale have hit the front against Sylvan, 12-5-77 to Sylvan, 11-10-76.
So keep an eye on that one, because Donvale have been almost looked unbeatable this year, but the Cats giving them a real go. As it's Surrey Park who come forward now. There's the kick inside 50, gets right over the back. Summers couldn't quite get to it, and it might be a free kick. It was nothing doing. It was Telford who got hands to it, but he seemed to lose it. There's a slam towards goal, but it's off target. Hart watches it just go through for a minor score. So one more to the total. That brings it back to a 2-goal straight game, 44-32. We've had 9 minutes gone in this last term.
So
still plenty of time.
That's exactly right. So 4-8 plays 7-2, 2 kicks in it. As I look to bring it out now through Jackson Lee, do the Dockers. Fasanella had a hold of his man the whole way through, and it's a free kick. maybe a bit of a sarcastic celebration from the Surrey Park fans below us as Falahi sends it forward, getting two hands to it was Woodfull, but couldn't quite clank the mark. Great bit of deception with the body there from the Dockers, and now they work it forward through Josh Warren into the hands of 43. I'm going to guess that that's Mariani.
Mummy Mariani.
Okay, so Mariani's there. He gets it out wide, looking to work the ball down the line again. Around it is Daniel Cooper. The ball finally makes its way out of bounds. So Templestowe with the territory for now, and if you like, the next goal is as important as ever as we go around the grounds with Paul Yaconi.
Yes, Mitcham have got it back to 5 points. It is Donny East 10-2-62 to Mitcham 8-9-57.
So the throw-in hit the ground. Then it's Mariani snapping around the corner. The ball had barely left his boot by the time he heard the yell of celebration. And that is an absolutely massive goal for Templestowe as they get their 8th of the day.
Yeah, great from the clearance.
And we talk about it again, Ryan, don't we? The clearance,
yeah.
the
goal, and that's going to make it very difficult now for Surrey Park, just as they were trying to get back into the game. Suddenly they're down by 3 goals to bounce the ball to the goal, and that's going to make it very difficult now for Surrey Park, just as they were trying to get back into the game. Suddenly they're down by 3 goals to bounce the ball today. Imagine that. It's up it goes. Imagine that. It's up it goes. And it might have been a holding free kick. It is. Giovanni was held. It's pretty obvious. The crowd go off, but it was there as the ball comes out towards us near side. Good punch coming through. The good spoil there, but it's been knocked back into the field to play Brown. Cries of holding the ball, but surely there's no prior there, and the umpire agrees. So we'll have a ball up. A blue sky above us, not much, but there's a couple of little spats there as the ball gets thrown in again. Giovanni knocks it forward, and Templestowe player take him, and he doesn't get the kick away. But the umpire sees play on, a bit of leniency once again on the conditions. And we'll have another ball up, just inside 50. Sorry, Spider.
Sorry, you're right. Just been better at the territory game, Besto. Dockers.
So not much happening here, but at least it's down the right end of the field from as the ball goes in again. It's going to be another stoppage, I think. Diving on it there might have been a case for a free kick. Fasanella happy just to kill it. And the umpire says we'll have a ball up. In fact, it was Fogarty, I beg your pardon.
Well, they can go repeat stoppage here, Besto. They just can keep doing it for the next 4 or 5 minutes.
South Croydon are hanging around against Bolwyn. They're still chasing their first win, but they're only down by 15 points. Bolwyn 9-9-63 to South Croydon 7-6-48.
So the margin here, 18 points in our Eastland match of the round. Surrey Park needs something, and they need it quickly as getting the ball was Lachlan Peters. Couldn't quite get a clean disposal out. So trying to just fight through everyone was Matthew King. The umpire will ask for the ball again. So another ball up just inside the Templestowe forward 50.
Guys, we're seeing Tom Smith being injected midfield for Surrey Park.
Just need something, Jared. I think it's a really good call.
Yeah.
Free kick.
So there's a free kick going the way of Templestowe. And the footy's in the hands of Alex Brown. He's got 2 already. He's been a bit of a silent contributor, really. Kicked to that goal just before.
Very reliable.
The crowd's
I
starting
think
to
he's
get a
been
bit
terrific
woolly.
today, Brown. I think he's been...
And he's looking for a lead up. It will just go only as far as a Surrey Park player.
Yeah,
There's a bit of a German suplex in there just inside the 50, and it stacks on. There's a lot going on here. Both umpires are reaching for their pockets. I don't think we have enough cards on hand here to really deal with this properly. Might need to make a quick run down to Officeworks. Get some photo copies.
Sorry, boys. There will be yellow cards coming out.
Yeah, it's just everything's going on. There's just spot fires here and there.
Well, they've been targeting Dan Cooper the whole game, boys. So
Cooper's got the yellow.
So Cooper's got a yellow.
Yeah, retaliators always get caught.
And Khan's just going around him and giving him a jab. That is so foolish from Nick Can. So he's walking off. He's already got the yellow, and you've just gone up and made something out of completely nothing.
Nick Can, boys. So we won't be probably seeing him.
But it's just undisciplined. Surrey Park, it's crept into their game throughout the day today. They've just been frustrated.
And there's
it's on again now over
push
the
and
side.
shove in the centre square.
Come on, guys, give it a rest. Get on with the game.
So we won't be seeing Dan Cooper, boys, by the looks of it, and we won't probably be seeing Nick Can. We're up to the 14-minute mark.
I had Nick Can down as one of my biggest contributors for Surrey Park so far in this game, so it's a big loss for them, and still a bit of grabbing and shoving going on. All's fun and love and war, but there's...
But it's uncharacteristic by Surrey Park, because over the past few years, they've been a very disciplined side.
So that one hurt as they're calling it back now. But
games where there's been a little bit of needle both ways, but Templestowe have been very physical, and they've sort of poked the bear a little bit.
We'll go around the grounds, Paul Uconi, while we've got the break.
Just got a final score from Wally 2, Ali 13-7-85 to the Basin 139.
And bubble has burst, I think, after that. Yeah. Was it last week they had the win or the week before?
We've had a couple in a row.
So it was another 25-metre penalty that's now getting...
This is getting out of hand.
Another whistle. I think we just need to get play restarted here. The ball's being called back. I don't think Mariani was far enough away. So, I mean, it just feels like Surrey Park have matched the physicality at all the wrong times at the moment. They had a late hit earlier on in the game that cost them a goal. There's another few instances here giving 25-metre penalties that have cost them a goal as well. And in a close game like this, 3 goals the margin, it's all to play for, and you can't afford to give that away. Around the footies, Matthew King, the ball's come out. It's in the hands of Callum Garvin. He's been plugging away quietly for Surrey Park, and now Tom Smith's got it in the midfield. Gets it out wide to Connor Ryan. He's got the ball and kicked the opener in his 4th turn. He looks wide and finds a teammate. They need something, and they need it quick. Do the Panthers, 18 points of margin. Deep entry in a forward 50 might get out the back. Plenty of flyers for it. Plenty of candidates. No one really winning at the moment. Looking to snap it on the right boot with Sam Hart. Couldn't get there. Hit as he went to kick it. And there's another ball up being called for. We've got players sitting down behind play. They're just trying to help up. And just a bit of a limp there. So the ball hit the deck. Holding free kick going the way of...
Giovanini.
That's Ryan Giovanini. He's had a very good game. He'll be putting his name forward in contention for the votes for definite.
So, over on the far side, Templestowe still in possession of the footy. This game is getting away from Surrey Park now. The clock is their worst friend as the mark is taken there by Mustafa. He's done some good things today as well. The margin is 18 points, so it's basically 3 kicks. And we've had 17 minutes of this last term, and in these sort of conditions, goals at a bit of a premium. Down the line they go, up they fly. It was Kazakis who couldn't get his hands on the ball. Now it's back with Surrey Park. They've got to go forward and do it quickly. Smith on the far side. Can't take the mark. Ball spills away. Attempted soccer there by Mundy. They might be kicking in danger, and he has given away the free kick. That was fair enough too, I think. So Giovanni Carl over there on the far side. Probably been overshadowed by his brother today as he gets it down the line. Ball bouncing towards the boundary line, and over she goes. So time to start thinking about best players, etc. for the day, which we'll do at the end of the game. But there's been a few contenders today.
Just quickly, a final score from Div 4. Warrandyte with an 8-point win over Croydon North Mlock. Warrandyte 5-15-45 to Croydon North Mlock 5-7-37.
So the ball up
just outside the Templestowe forward 50. The margin remains at 18 points. It's 4-8 plays 8-2. The visitors in the lead and looking to go a game clear at top spot in our Division 2 competition here at the EFNL. And there's a free kick going the way of It's not Daniel Kubiso, it was off for the yellow. So we've got Templestowe play with ball in hand. It's Josh Warren who's been good for the Dockers today, and rising high was Alex Brown. Couldn't quite come down with it, and just looking to send a drop punt about as far away from the defensive 50 as they can for Surrey Park, and Woodfull did well to bring it to ground. It was handballed from Parry Smith, looking to burst away. Does just that. You can see the mullet flying in the breeze. Sends it forward, looking for a teammate in number 18 in Lachlan Summers. Couldn't get there. Shepherded off the ball was Kenworthy, and now Templestowe can send it back through the corridor, only into the hands of Quinton Parry, who takes an intercept mark. He's been good today again in the best 3 times so far this season. His kick was weighted perfectly for Tom Smith. Carl Giovannini standing the mark now. Smith this time goes to his left, handballs it off, gets bowled over. It's bowled over and we'll get a free kick for just that. So we saw him play on and kick a goal from a very similar spot as he'll look to set up a teammate this time. A few flies at the footy, won't quite get out the back of the pack around it, and laying a tackle is Matt McClellan. Footy's on the ground, plenty of bodies dropping around it.
Free kick.
And I think the umpire's called for a ball up. But no, there's
a late high
contact,
and
so I think a non-officiating umpire called, and maybe something said there because another card is coming out. And
I tell you, the Dockers were really lucky.
Looks like it's Jack Mann coming off.
The player on the ground dragged that in. It should have probably gone. I reckon it should have gone the other way.
So probably something said there from Jack Mann. That's the 3rd yellow card for Surrey Park, and if you look at it from their perspective, trying to get a comeback on this game as we enter time on. I mean,
you can see the frustration.
But it's not good from your team leaders. These are the moments you need your leaders out on the ground, not sitting on the bench.
It's 3 of their big performers as well in Mann, Mundy, and Nick Kahn is Porty Coney.
Got a final score between Kilsyth and Whitehorse. Kilsyth 11-10, 76 to Whitehorse 8-5, 53. And in Premier, scores a level between Vermont and Berwick, 38 apiece.
So a good kick inside, and Mariani comes forward and takes the mark. And if he kicks this, the game is definitely over. Well, I think, to be honest, it's probably just about done now. But
even a score will
any
put
score,
it beyond a 3-goal.
That's right.
And to let Mariana do that is just a little bit unforgivable because it shows the lack of discipline that the Panthers have shown.
They've really lost their bundle, the Surrey Park side, unfortunately. But that's the thing. You've got to keep your discipline, keep your shape. Mariani will be kicking from pretty much right on the arc, but he's got a powerful kick. So if anyone can get it there, he can. He's given it plenty, but it's off target and through for a minor score. But as Ryan said, an important score because that makes it a 4-kick game now.
Just quickly from Premier, we do have a final score from that Vermont-Berwick game, and Vermont have got up by a point. Vermont 4.
Great escape.
4-15-39 to Berwick 5-8-38.
Doesn't matter how you win, they all count for 4 points as Tom Smith looking to get 4 for his side as he sends it forward. It's out the back over Kenworthy. Sam Hart's in pursuit. The ball just won't bounce the way he needs it to as he snaps on the left foot. Now this would be some goal, but Carl Giovannini's there in the goal square to spoil the party.
Been good, Carl. Both Carl and Ryan. Yes, Paul.
Both important players.
Just quickly from Premier, South Croydon have got it back to 9 points. Baldwin 9-10-64 to South Croydon 8-7-55.
As clearing their lines now, the Dockers, they look long down that far side. Alex Brown was a target, but it's going to bounce out for a boundary throw-in as it past 22 minutes here in our Eastland match of the round. And for a team like Surrey Park, we've had no trouble scoring this season.
Disposal.
We've only got a goal in each quarter. So we've got a disposal for each of the boundary riders today. Wow.
This defence of the Dockers has just been brilliant today.
So ball back into the list again. You can see the rain coming down if you're watching on Facebook, and you've been pouring down for most of the second half and probably earlier as well. Little short stab kick forward by Giovannini. That's Ryan. Finds a target. Here they come forward again. Sorry, that was Sardis. In fact, it was. I looked at the wrong side of my score sheet there. Up they fly, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Surrey Park. They'll need to take it quickly. Kenworthy, he's got to get on with that. He's got no one to kick to, though, at the moment. So puts it under the left boot, goes down the line, tries to find a target there. Mark not taken. Trying to dive on it over there. That might be a free kick, is it? Let's wait for the umpire. Yes, he's paid it.
We've got Alex Brown limping off for the Dockers.
So he's been good, Alex Brown, so he's had a good match. So probably a deserved rest, but it's a free kick to the Dockers. And as you can understand, they're in no hurry to take this because they are well in control of this one. 19-point lead, and we've had 23 minutes gone in this last term.
It's the line possession now.
So just thumped down the lines on it, but the boundary beats all.
Just some scores in Div 2, 2 points between Mulgrave and Croydon. Mulgrave lead 10-13-63, 10-3-63 to 8-13-61, and Sylvan and Donvale scores are level between those, 90 apiece, and Fair Park still lead by 3 points over Knox, 8-8-56 Fair Park to Knox, 7-11-53.
So Melbourne Weatherthong expanding the works. It's big for Mulgrave, the result of that game, because if they can win there, they'll leapfrog Surrey Park, given that obviously there isn't some miraculous comeback here from 19 points down, but a win there for Mulgrave will put them in a second. As well, the boundary throw in far side, true centre wing. So past 24 minutes played in this final term. Carl Giovannini doing the ruck, Ryan Giovannini, I should say, doing the ruck work, getting a handball out. It's in the hands now of Josh Warren, who sends it forward. Spare man at the back for Surrey Park was Quinton Parryhill. Handball over Fasanella, he did well. Now it's in the hands of Matthew King, who looks forward, looks to use the corridor, and looking to make a contest of it. Was a few of the Surrey Park players, but there's head coach James Kenworthy just snapping it, looking to set up a teammate, and would do so. Finds the waiting arms of number 14. In Jasper Mundy, who's back on after that yellow card. He just had to double check quickly, and the ball's found its way over the boundary line. So number 1 ranked defence in the league, Templestowe, this season so far, and you can see why as we go into the stats as score centre with Paul Yaconi.
Mitcham have got a goal and have got it back to 5 points. Donny East 12-3-75 to Mitcham 10-10-70.
Goodness me, and a few heart flutters there as the ball is thrown in. Giovannini wins it, knocks it down to Fogarty. We've had 25 minutes in this last term, so probably a lot of time to go. There's been how many goals have we had in this term, boys? Anyone been counting? Not sure.
We've had 1 to Surrey Park, 2 to Templestowe.
Yeah, so might be a little bit of time. Mariani gets it, puts his boot to the ball, out towards this near side boundary. Can they keep it in? Tackle made over there by Kazakis. And the umpire says we'll have a stoppage. So, typical winter day today. We're not even into winter yet, but it's been pouring down for much of the game. Not one of the great days. Wouldn't be going to the beach today as the umpire throws it up. Giovannini knocks it forward into the hands there of Kazakis. Cries of holding the ring. Templestowe go forward again, but the ball beats everyone. Goes out of bounds in the left forward pocket.
This has been a really hard-fought win by Templestowe.
I think we're our best on ground today. We do JB Land 3, B10 and 2. They've had a tough day.
He loses a vote for getting a nickname of a coach wrong earlier.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
But he is keeping up with the bingo numbers. So,
no, they did have my sympathy today, even though I gave him a bit of stick before. It's a terrible. I've done it himself a few times, and it's not one of the great things in life. As the tackle is made over there, they're just inside 50. Templestowe happy just to kill the ball as the seconds and the minutes tick away.
Paul, just quickly, do you have a score for Rowville Blackburn?
Yes, I do. In that game, Blackburn are up by 15 points. Blackburn 9-8-62 to Rowville 7-5-47.
Oh, Ray Beard.
That makes me happy as Kenworthy takes him up, maybe tweaked an ankle, will get the ball back now. Did well to tap it. It's him and Hendon just playing keepings off as Ryan now looking to get involved. That rain is really coming down now, like we said.
Can we...
We can hear it in the
sorry, boys.
as well. Go on, Blake.
Can we say when the rain chops, Rowville stops? Is that how it goes?
You did in the chat.
I think it's the case.
You're in trouble with Ray.
The angry faces emoji.
Wait for Ray's response tomorrow on the Weekend Recovery podcast. And there's a whistle being blown here. Maybe ran too far, so Tom Smith will get the
We
footage.
might get Ray's rant tomorrow.
But
for the whole show.
Saying that Blackburn have won again in the wet.
Very good, Blackburn.
So they're looking forward. Here's Surrey Parks out the back off the hands of Kenworthy. Around the footy now is Lachlan Peters, which can even now get the rain coming through the effects mic as it's really coming down out there. We should end the game and let the poor umpires get into a dry set of clothes because
we've got the covers on the far side. They need to get them on.
Spider, when was the last time Blackburn have started a season 5-0? Going back a bit.
Yeah, fair way.
That's all she wrote here in our Eastland match of the round broadcast in Division 2. It is Surrey Park 4-8-32, falling short to Templestowe 8-3-51. The Dockers with a 19-point win away from home. That takes them to the top of the ladder in what is a very close competition so far in 2025. Your goal kickers for today, we will get to the Tobin Brothers goal of the day in a second, but your goal kickers for today, singles for Surrey Park, going the way of Hayden Telford, Samuel Hart, Tom Smith and Connor Ryan. Multiple goals, 2 each for Templestowe in the form of Andrew Fasanella and Alex Brown, and singles to Carl Giovannini, Dion Mustafa, Matthew Mariani, who wore about 15 different jumpers today, and also to Yanni Kazakis, as the teams players are shaking hands with each other, congratulating each other on a contest well fought. We will be hearing shortly from one or even two players down there for an interview. I don't think Blake and Jared will have any issue grabbing someone today, given that they're the ones with the umbrellas out there. So they might be able to leverage a bit of a position, but the rain is really coming down on what has been a day of quite a bit of wet weather footy. Obviously, a lot of results being a lot closer, a lot different to what we imagined, but it's the Dockers today that I have to put my hand up and apologise to them because I didn't tip them. But we go boundary side to Blake Tannen, who's got to play with him.
Yeah, we got two players. We'll get Big Carl. Where's Big Carl? He's somewhere. There he is.
Get him under the umbrellas, Blake.
Things are definitely ticking along nicely down at the Docker lane down there.
Yeah, no, it's been a great start to the year. Probably, maybe not probably about what we needed, what the benchmark was for the year. No, but it was very good. We sort of set this as like the mid-season grand final, top of the table clash, obviously. So we really put a big emphasis, and it was just super with the boys' effort. It was a great win.
Yeah. Number one defensive team to keep Surrey Park to 32 points. I don't recall seeing Surrey Park kicking that. What's the go between the defensive line? Because number one defensive team, you must be pretty proud of how things are going.
Yeah, and it's not because we're not. I guess they're not getting a lot of inside 50s. There's a lot of inside 50s, and they're just getting repelled. The backs have just got that never say die attitude. They're just really willing to win those one-on-ones. And yeah, they were fucking super today. Sorry.
Faz, excellent game today. Obviously a really tough day for the small forwards. How did you find it out there?
It was wet towards the end of the game, that's for sure. It was good getting repeat forward 50s. I thought the pressure was good. Yeah, I thought we fought out really well.
Yeah, you've been served pretty well by a strong midfield, of course. And how have you found it against Surrey Park? Obviously an upstart team coming up a division.
Yeah, they were pretty quick off the back line, far out. Couldn't really keep up with them, but midfield stayed up strong, so got it forward and let us try to do the rest.
I reckon we'll let you guys go and sing the song. And one more. Yeah, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you to Blake Tennant and Jared Beelan down there doing interviews with Carl Giovannini and Andrew Fasanella, who have been very good. Jared's going to let the man that was holding up his umbrella go as well. A great display of determination and dominance from Templestowe out here, which, like they said, bit of a mid-season grand final, Brett, and they got the better of them this time.
They did indeed. Yeah, we thought for a while it looked like Surrey Park, but in the end, Templestowe, the game was tight early, largely due to the conditions, but when the game was really on the line, particularly in that third term, they got on top around the stoppages and in the midfield, they being, of course, Templestowe, and in the last quarter they just did what they had to do, and they got it done in a very impressive performance today, and people certainly will be taking notice after this one.
Yeah, we might be able to get the song in the background if the boundary riders have followed him up.
We can hear it behind us if you take your headphones off.
It is right behind us.
Here we go.
Wherever we go, we are to jump up by day and by night, and we'll never give up trying with all of our might. And the roar will we play till we win the treasure flag. We are the team from Templestowe.
Yes, thanks to Tobin Brothers Funerals celebrating lives for the song.
Gusto.
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic win for the Templestowe Football Club.
Without Bo Mitchell as well, that's what you said.
And I think Ryan Giovannini was massive in the ruck, and I think might feature in some of the votes. There's a lot of players that I think can, and do we want to get stuck into it? I don't know if we're going to another break or if we can go straight into the awards. We've still got a fair bit of time.
Time for a break if you want a break, and we'll come back for those.
We will reconvene and go through the votes for the Sportsco Eastland Best on Ground. It is Templestowe the winners today in the Eastland Match of the Round, 8-3-51 to Surrey Park 4-8-32.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her two young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
351 defeating Surrey Park 4-8-32. The whole crew's here. We've got our Bandry Riders as well behind us. And it is time for the votes. The 3-2-1. And the winner of this award will walk away with the Sportsco Eastland Best on Ground voucher. Brett Preston, we'll start with you on the end. You're 3-2-1 for today's clash. There's a lot of names that probably can fit into the votes and should make for an interesting count.
It does. There's probably a few people who are unlucky to miss out. So I'll go from 1 up to 3. Do you want me to start 1? Yeah, 1 to 3. Yep. So I went Matt Mariani for 1. I know he was quite influential at different times, but he sort of drifted a bit in and out of the game, but he was good when he was there. I really liked Nicholas Bird's game today. I thought he played really well. I gave him 2, and you couldn't go past for me. Jackson Harrawalla, who I thought it was fantastic in the run. And I think I've got the wrong guy. Ryan Giovanini. Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
And I think Chris is going to be keeping track of them.
Yep.
So it'll be your responsibility to follow up on this.
Moments he popped up in and was working his way throughout the entirety of the game. But the moments he popped up on really took control of the game for Templestowe.
I like it. I'll go 1 with Fasanella. I've left out a couple of people, including Carl Giovanini, who I think was important in the clash still. 2 votes, I am going with Matt Mariani, particularly in the second half when probably one of those players who were able to end the deadlock where it was a real tight game going into that second half, and he really stood up, won a lot of footy and kicked a really important goal too. And I just think without Bo Mitchener in the side, I thought Ryan Giovanini, I don't know if statistically he's the best player on the ground, but I just think the impact and the influence that he had as in the ruck was absolutely fantastic, and up against Woodfull and others. I'm giving the 3 to Ryan Giovanini. Spider?
Yeah, 1 vote. I'll go with Fasanella. That could have easily gone a couple of others. 2 votes. I thought Matt Mariani in the second half really stepped it up when the game needed to be won. Some of those clearances and forward stop.
Yeah, my 1 vote goes to Fasanella. 2 votes go to Mariani, and my 3 votes go to Ryan Giovanini.
Beautiful. We got the 2 boundary rides. Jared Beanland, you're 3-2-1 today.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you, gentlemen. Ryan Giovannini was definitely best on ground. I think Mariani just provided that impact. I'm going to give him the 2 votes. And, I got to go with Andrew Fasanella as well. I feel like he, as a small forward, would have found it hard on this day and was able to work his magic as much as he could.
Blake Tennant?
Yeah, I've completely agree with what Jared said. So I'll go with Jared. 3 votes, Ryan Giovannini. I'll go two votes, Andrew Fasanella and Matthew Mariani. Sorry, Mariani. Sorry, there you go.
If you agreed,
1
Mike,
vote.
you would have given them in the same order. So you don't agree. You agree with the names, you just didn't agree with the order.
So I believe Chris is keeping track, but I believe
Ryan,
that's a clear,
yeah, 19
winner.
votes,
Ryan. So the Eastland Sportsco Eastland best on ground voucher. A few goal a day contenders, I think, in the second half. I like Fasanella.
Sam Hunt.
That was a beauty.
Sam Hunt for me.
Yeah.
So are we going Fasanella? Is that the?
I like Sam Hart's goal. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good goal. But I reckon he's had about 5 Tobin Brothers goal a day.
He's still got about 5 of them stashed in his bag.
But we can obviously one went to Templestowe's way, so give Surrey Park maybe.
It's not how that works.
We don't
split
give
him up.
We're not about sentiments here, Blake.
I'd say Fasanella snap on the right foot.
Okay.
Andrew Fasanella, also the Tobin Brothers Goal of the Day award winner. So we got the 2 awards there. If one of the boys behind me might be able to get a photo of those boys before they do leave, because with these conditions, I'm worried everyone's going to bugger off too quickly. Around the grounds, Paul Yukoni, just some scores to touch on.
Yes, starting off with Premier Division, it looks like a final score here between Doncaster. It hasn't been confirmed, but Donny Eastland 12-3-75 to Mitcham 10-12-72. It's been like that for a while, so I'm assuming that might be a final score. East Ringwood by 61 points. East Ringwood 15-9-99 to Noble Park 5-8-38. Bolwyn got over South Croydon. Bolwyn 10-10-70 to South Croydon 8-7-55. Vermont got up by a point against Berwick 4-15-39 to Berwick 5-8-38. Rowville 8-6-54. In Division 1, Beaconsfield with a big win over Moolbark 8-5-53. Beaconsfield to Moolbark 4-8-32. South Belgrave by 54 points. South Belgrave 17-11-113 to Baronia 9-5-59. Montrose with a massive win. Montrose 17-167 to Norwood 7-9-51, and Park Orchards with a big win over North Ringwood. Park Orchards 12-18-90 to North Ringwood 7-6-48. In Division 2, East Burwood win a low scoring contest. East Burwood 4-8-32 to Lilydale 2-5-17. Mulgrave got up in a thrill over Croydon, 10-3-63 Croydon. Mulgrave to Croydon, 8-13-61. Waverley Blues got over Ringwood. Waverley Blues 9-8-62 to Ringwood, 7-3-45. And Wanney South got over Heathmont, 12-12-84 to Heathmont, 8-5-53. In Division 3, a huge upset as Fair Park get their first win of the year over Knox. Fair Park 8-8-56 to Knox 7-13-55.
Down at Fair Park, you'll be hearing that in the FNL headquarters still on Monday.
Absolutely. It's Upper Gully with a huge win over Oakley District. Upper Gully 18-17, 125 to Oakley District 8-5-53. Scoresby 13-9-87 to Coldstream 6-2-38. Another upset as Sylvan get over the unbeaten Donvale. Sylvan 13-13-91 to Donvale 14-6-90, and Ferntree Gully with a big win over the Basin. Ferntree Gully 13-7-85 to the Basin 1-3-9. And in Division 4, big win for Bulleen Templestowe. 18-8, 116 to Forest Hill 4-6-30. Kilsyth 11-10-76 to Whitehorse 8-5-53, and Warrandyte in a close one over Croydon North Hemlock. Warrandyte 5-15-45 to Croydon North Hemlock 5-7-37.
Thanks there, Paul, doing all the scores around the grounds as Pete Clay's looking after us here at Surrey Park, as he always does. And, geez, there's going to be some talking points tomorrow on the weekend recovery spot of some of these results.
What a morning, and you got to review on that program.
Yeah.
So we'll preview it all next week. But what a fantastic weekend of footy across all 5 divisions and some upsets. That's what we want. That's what makes the competition as good as it is, and it's even. And we have some results that get tipped on its head, and the ladders. Who would have thought that the two of the top contenders in Donvale and Knox getting beaten in the same weekend?
It's a different upset, though, isn't it, with these conditions?
That's right.
It lends itself, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It does. And that's, I guess, it's going to be interesting now to see sides like Surrey, sides like Fair Park and Sylvan, if they can continue that form now after really big wins, upset wins. But really fascinating to see some of those results, and particularly Premier Division 2 with all 3 of South Croydon, Berwick and Mitcham. Although they don't walk away with wins, they've proven that that they can compete with some of those topper sides in the division.
Honourable losses, and the story of the week, and that is that Blackburn now are undefeated and
5-0.
5-0. Who would have thought? And I was just trying to think if they had been unbeaten in Premier or the old Division 1. I can't think of that would be the case. It might go back to when Jeremy Campbell was coach back in the early 2012, 2013, when they were sort of around the preliminary final mark.
Yep.
But even when they played in the grand final in 2019, I can't remember them being undefeated at 5-0, but they certainly were very consistent through the year. But Blackburn, they are certainly taking the competition by storm at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot to discuss tomorrow, of course, on the weekend recovery, but I believe Blake's still behind us at the moment. We've got a big day tomorrow out at Montrose Recreation Reserve for Girls' Day Out. Montrose and Blackburn, the senior game that will be covering, the senior women's game out there on Sunday afternoon. But it's a big day. We've got all the junior sides of Montrose playing.
Yes.
They are partnered with the Hands Off Foundation as well. Yep. It's a great day and one that I think we're all sort of looking forward to getting out and having a look at tomorrow.
Oh, definitely. It's a big one as well. Just especially, the day it is itself, all girls football with obviously the women playing, and also all female umpires, which is a huge thing that Montrose and Blackburn have decided this year, and of course the Eastern Football Netball League, of course, that have decided to do this on a Sunday. It's a standalone game for the senior women sort of thing, so you can watch it on Facebook and YouTube. There's some guest speakers with AFLW stars, of course. Hayley McLaughlin from the Hawks. She'll be jumping on to say a few words. I think Keely Skipper, on the top of my head, I don't have the sheet on me now, but she'll be there. The Eastern Rangers head coach will also be there for the boys program, Lauren Moorcroft, as well. And I believe there is also a couple more as well.
Have you got the mayoral robes ready for yourself? Because you are the mayor of Montrose.
I don't know about that status.
Well, last time me and Ryan did a presentation inside, I believe.
In at Montrose?
Yeah, you did something.
Yeah, I think, Blake told me about 5 minutes before that you've got to go up and speak about the game.
So I don't know if he wants to do that today. I'll let him off the hook. So, but yeah, it should be an exciting day at Montrose. The weather, I hope, can stay away, which would be great, and we get some sunny clouds and all that. And I think
sunny clouds.
Sunny day out. Sorry, it's end of the day.
Sunny conditions,
And the thing is, both sides are undefeated too coming into the game. So it's going to be a massive game, and I think we all know where I'm heading on this. But it should be an exciting day out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can catch all that action. I believe we're live from 11:30 a.m. So.
Get there. Sorry, Ryan. Yep. I just watching on. Get there super early as well, because parking's very limited, of course. And
you'll be sleeping there, won't you?
Might have to bring the old tent down to Montrose, maybe.
You can help me bring the road case up and down the elevator.
Yeah, and the roundabout's all clear and everything. So So everything's good. So
Blake will be on traffic duty as well. He's going to be busy tomorrow.
Well, he's going to be busy tonight, I reckon. It was his birthday on Thursday, I believe. Happy birthday, Blake.
Thank you.
What's the plan for tonight? I know you're not going home.
No, I actually have to go home because I've got to have a shower because I had to do boundary. Someone had to do it. But yeah, off to the Carlton Club. I know some people in here like that place as well, and we might go to the Dorset, the Carlton Club.
Oh, okay.
Does that do your fancies?
Blake, you got to get up early in the morning.
And also might head down to the usual where everyone goes in the Eastland Football Netball League, the Dorset Gardens Hotel.
Dirty Dorset.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll join you there tonight, mate, but happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old? 22?
I'm old.
You're not old.
He's retiring, but coming back. He's coming back from his first retirement tour.
Yeah, I'm old. That's
okay. I think it's your 22nd, I believe. But great to have you and Jared alongside on the boundary. Jared, great job from you in the wet weather conditions. I was a bit worried for you that when I saw Blake with the umbrella by himself and then you with nothing, but you did have another one down there.
No, we did. It was a rough one, but look, boundary riders, we get through it. You know, we tough it out, and we got a job to do, and I feel like we did it.
Yeah,
I'm freezing right now. I'm not sure if I am built different.
Great stuff from both of you down the boundary. Paul Uconi, been a big day for you on the scores this afternoon, but the women's game this morning doing a great job, and the Swans got up last night, so everything going well.
Yep, good weekend, and it was a good day out here. Sorry.
Absolutely. Matt Spider-Lee, great to have you.
Great to be a part of the coverage, Ryan. It was a fantastic game of footy in the wet conditions. Templestowe got on top, and they've really proven why they're the best side in Division 2. So which one was that?
When you ask Vossi about the big ruck duel battle, I like that one.
We're on good terms, myself and Vossi. He's a good man.
Yeah, lovely to see. Good for you, Spider, out tonight. Chris Cordis, what's on for this evening? Calling another game today. Where are you off to tonight? You're going home? Are you going out?
Straight home, past a local Chinese on the way, and tuck in for a nice, comfortable warm night.
What do you order? What's your go-to?
I got to hype them up here, right? Dumpling Kitchen on Canterbury Road does like the greatest chicken wings I've ever had. Tops KFC, tops anything. So I'm a chicken sweet corn guy and 6 fried chicken wings.
You're lucky we don't have a chicken sponsor or something that you're clashing with, so you're okay.
You guys are lucky. It costs the money.
If there's one out there, come on board.
Yeah, always looking for more. Brett Besson, great to have you down here at Surrey Park Reserve. A long trip back, but
it's good coming out here, but it's a long way home.
Yep.
Especially on a dark, cold night like tonight. But it's been a lot of fun. I don't get out here as much as I used to, but always treasure the time I have with you guys, and really enjoyed it today.
Great to have you back. When do you reckon we'll see you again? Obviously,
probably in a month.
Yep,
yeah,
beautiful.
Next month. So
we'll lock you in as soon as
not
you're
King's
available.
King's birthday weekend. Noble Baldwin. Maybe?
Well, that's probably a month away. That weekend.
Maybe. I'm not
3
sure.
weeks
We've
away.
got some Division 3 games that weekend too. Potentially to look at. We'll have that discussion off air, but a lot to look forward to. Lee Green, thank you for your work again this afternoon.
Pleasure as always, getting up and nice and early to get out to these sort of grounds, setting up ready for the wet, and it didn't rain once on the table. Zebo put it up, but absolutely big shout out to Surrey for having us too. Like they've plied you guys with drinks and they've given us some food. They had a fantastic paella for the dinner in there for the lunch, and geez, that was nice. I didn't grab the name of the guys, but huge shout out to them.
Peter Clay, probably. Peter Clay. I think it was Peter Clay. He's the one who looked after us.
I'm saying the paella guys.
Oh, the paella guys.
No, it was traditional paellas. They had the massive, 400 litre, it was massive.
Yeah, absolutely. And Megan Green doing a great job. As always, the best camera woman going around, doing both the senior games today. Kate Green as well. For her involvement and control of the senior women's broadcast. That's it for us here at Surrey Park Reserve for the Eastland match of the round. Templestowe walk away with their 5th win of the season, 8-3-51 to Surrey Park, 4-8-32.